Wait, as
I am a no math gay, and I stand by it.
as I hit the record button because we need to update people on the chronicles of your Starbucks orders.
My Starbucks order showed up, and I have ordered double of everything. Of my full day's worth of Starbucks that I get every game day, I have 2.
Yes!
That's
I have 4 different coffees, 2 sandwiches.
a grand feast. Okay, while we listen to the music, everybody say one sentence about what your character is doing last time we were here.
Yeah, we were doing a heist for the mysterious box. We ended up fighting this weird red slime creature.
Yes, we did.
Bretta Bright Gleam ate shit.
Ate shit. Got grabbed by a demon.
Bretta Brightgleam was eaten by shit.
Oh.
Was she? I thought she fell into the spikes.
No, like the red ooze shot out from the pit that the spikes were in and just grabbed her and pulled her.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
If it didn't eat her, it impaled her at minimum.
Right, it dragged
That's
her
a
down.
rough
she's
way to
probably she's probably not doing great.
Yeah, but now we're doing a grand escape from the grasping eye.
Right.
Yeah, we really goofed it.
But
Yeah.
we got the mysterious box.
We have the box that they told us under no circumstances could we open.
June is freaking out and fighting some dudes because her band of people just started a gosh darn fight.
Illyri's dead.
I don't know if that's true.
Actually, yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, no, it
Not a
is.
joke. It's not a joke.
Oh
Larry's
shit!
dead.
Straight up got what?
Forgot about that.
The last thing I remember, I was just, disclaimer, this next line might not be suitable for everybody, but I think I was just massacring somebody with my axes in their head, body.
I mean,
chopping
you do
them
that
up.
once an episode now.
Once an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Flavor
a resident
saver.
axe murderer.
Rather than deal with a mage, Cal threw himself into the sea and was rescued by his new cranky line-on.
Right. Everyone's waifu came in and saved Calder.
Yeah,
Awesome.
The only character that
it
matters.
was a real gamble there, but it paid off. It was a
Our
bold move.
punk rock mermaid waifu.
Oh my god, I love her so much.
I love her.
I just want to stare at her tattoos, the sunsets.
I'm not gonna lie, a little heartbroken we haven't gotten fan art of her yet. So if you've been looking for an excuse to draw Filthy Meg, please, I will.
Bonus points to whoever makes romance novel art of Calder and Filthy Meg.
I just want an obscenely muscled filthy Meg carrying Cal like a princess.
Yeah.
Does Calder have useless twink energy?
Yes, that's.
You can buy those shirts to support
No.
us. Thank you.
Buy them online, and they come in multiple flavors: useless twink, useless himbo, useless gay, useless pan, anywhere on the rainbow, except for the straights. You guys get everything.
No, I'm gonna buy the Fembo one. We have one too.
We love our
Kaza.
friends.
I love you so much, and that sounds so beautiful. Would you do me a solid and mute your mic, though? Thank you, my love.
I thought it was. Half the time I think it is.
That's what I figured too, but I didn't want to stop you.
Oh, shit.
So I'm going to turn this up just a little bit. So I would ask that you all center yourselves and find a meditative moment. As we start this, I would just remind all of you to find a center for your characters. Think about your characters. Think about where they've been. Focus on the backstory of this as well, because I might have some of you slipping back and forth between sections. And we're going to just go ahead and start. So I'm going to give us a couple of minutes of meditative music and focus, and then I'll start with our introduction. The children that were scattered about the floor of the common room looked at the old man, waiting for a tale of faraway lands and heroic exploits. I suppose we were at the beginning then. The underdog, the grove, the sea, the palace, they all converged right there.
Harold, have you ever seen so many different kinds of people in such a big place? How hard could it be to find somebody that knows where Tailwind is?
You're a miracle, boy.
I shake my head and quietly to myself say, there's no such thing as miracles.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you a running start. I'll count to 30. 1, 2.
30, and then I'm gonna run at him and attack him.
You told me your history. I was born on that boat. Huh? That ship that your friend is dissecting.
I absolutely hate how chipper you always are.
And it'd be a good look on you, though.
If it's a riddle, I want to solve it. If it's a lock, I want to open it.
I'm a holy woman, and I'm looking for things that were taken from me and my people.
They could not begin to fathom the situation that they found themselves in. The ragged old crow landed on the broken stone, sitting in the center of the cul-de-sac. The two roads in the middle of the southern ward had been well packed by the ongoing traffic of the day. Carriages, horses, and merchant carts were pulled back and forth. It was a regular occurrence. And as the sun rose and set, this section of Waterdeep was always bustling with the mercantile goods of 1,000 different nations, pooling together, having been pulled across the Sword Coast and brought here. It was the gateway to the rest of Faerun, a place where anything could be found if you searched long enough and hard enough. These roads and this ward of Waterdeep was downtrodden. It didn't have the same gloss and shine that other sections of the city did. The nobility found very little use for it outside of what the merchants provided, and as a place for those who were from the outside. Many call the southern ward of Waterdeep home. It is a ragged collection of vagabonds and wanderers that have planted root in one of the greatest cities in all of the world of Abir Terrell. It stretches on, the walls shining above it, and enormous statues standing sentinel against the attacks of magical forces and armies that have in the past threatened this place. The city itself was so massive that it functioned on a number of very carefully laid laws. The Code Legal, which bound civility to this place and ensured that chaos would not rule the day. It allowed prosperity, some means of peace. And all of it was overseen by a collection of leadership known as the Masked Lords. Those who hid their face did so for good reason. Anyone who was known to be a member of this selective group immediately put themselves and all that they love in danger. And so a veil of secrecy was risen to protect those who would serve this great city and to continue the prosperity that had blossomed within this place. But for as great and grand as Waterdeep was, something much older lingers here, where the humans and their allies have erected great statues and buildings and towers and walls, where a vast, long, stretching dock had been brought to the sea so that all of the goods and services of all of these nations might be gathered together. Something lie beneath it all. A forgotten memory. One long shielded. Something of power. Down these well-packed, well-worn streets of the southern ward, an old crow lands on a broken bit of stone. It cries out, and along the broken buttress of a building that had collapsed, in a cul-de-sac, tucked away from the rest of the bustle of the city, an old, very ragged building stood. The shingles had been worn away with time, and the beams had been exposed. Large sections of stone and wood had been ground away by time's relentless march. An old well stood in the center of the cul-de-sac, and it was a deep, dark, black, empty pit. The stones of which that had stood around its diameter had long ago worn away, making it little more than a very dangerous hole. Weeds grew rampant across the field that was in this cul-de-sac, and an old stable lay rotting. The roof collapsed, sagging from the weight of old moss. A number of figures stood there as the crows and ravens continued their ceaseless squawking. This place had been fully abandoned. It had no owners. And in the building that used to be a tavern, there was no merriment. It had no visitors. No hearths held fires. It was the skeletal remains of something that was. An empty shadow. A ghost. This old tavern once had a placard sign that hung above the door. But long ago, the steel brackets that had held it in place had rusted away. And now that shingle lay on the ground, half buried in mud, grown across by wild vines and dead shards of grass. Figures stood there in that cul-de-sac at that time, like explorers, discovering the ruins of a lost civilization. They stood there. A number of figures were scattered out. There was a large, ponderous creature slowly poking about the ruined stables. The humanoid form was what many within the realms called a tortle. A tortoise humanoid from a faraway land. And as he moved about, poking around, his large, deep blue, glassy, watery eyes slowly sought out all of the remains of this place, taking them in slowly. A woman stood with an old bastard sword on her back, a large pack at her feet, her hair pulled back into a tight bun. She was young and strong, and she had a look of determination across her face as she looked upon the ruins of this forgotten place. A stout, broad figure walked across the cul-de-sac, across the field and towards that broken sign. Large, muscular hands, covered in grime and dirt, brushed away the vines that had grown over the shingle of the old tavern. Britta Brightgleam looked back at Tamara. The symbol and the words were still visible there on the shingle. A circle with a number of triangular pieces etched into it, like a star. The old and faded lettering still visible in the common tongue. The 7 shards. A small figure walks up next to Bretta. Multicolored patchwork cloak wrapped close around them. Phineas places a hand upon Bretta's shoulder. Bretta looks back, away from Tamara, and to Phineas.
Are you sure this is the place? Seems like quite a mess. I don't think we're going to be able to do much with it.
This is it. This is the place. What do you think? Tamara raises an eyebrow and looks over to the small, blonde-headed halfling, his young face beaming with a broad smile. Phineas was always smiling. It'll do. Tamara walks over, puts her hand upon the broken-down old tavern, closes her eyes, and remembers everything that has come before. Britta looks back to Phineas.
Well, if this is it, you can count on me to help you out. However, I'm not going to be hanging my sword up. All of you can quit adventuring if you like, but this old dwarf, she's got plenty left in her, and I am not going to say it's all done.
I wouldn't worry about that, Britta. You have at least one great adventure left.
Oh, you and your cryptic talk, I swear, you always got your eye off in the distance, looking at the future. What about the here and now? I could use an ale and a warm fire to kick my feet up on.
Tamara looks back. We'll build that fire. And we'll name this place the Golden Owl. My brother may be gone, but his legacy can help others. And my sister, her strength will help us. You know, Britta, I've always got my feet planted right where they need to be. It's a skill of mine. But you're right. I've always got my eyes on the horizon. And what I see coming, you wouldn't believe. As you run down the corridor in the dank of that sewer passage, stone surrounding you on all sides, the shouts and arrows of the grasping eye behind you, Doddle, Hawk, MacLeod, and Saray. You turn back just as Bretta leaps across that horrid pit filled with spikes, and the red translucent tendril of ooze strikes out from the depth, wrapping itself around her as her eyes meet yours, and she is pulled beneath, gone. Doddle, you've begun to open the door as it slowly has ascended, stone grinding against stone. You and your companions are able to escape, but the arrows fly all around you. The grasping eye has been alerted to your presence. Hawk, you and Saray are carrying a very heavy chest. It is locked, and you are uncertain as to what you have taken from this place, but it seems to be of great value. Within your pack, Saray, the enameled box is now in your possession. You have accomplished what Fiddle Scratch has sent you down here to do. but there has been a great cost. Everyone is on the other side of the pit. You've all made your way over it. Bretta did not. You're at the doorway that leads back into the sewer.
She's gone. We need to get back to the Golden Owl.
As soon as possible. And I'm gonna, as you're having your moment, Saray is like pulling on the other side of the box to get you to go. Come on. We have to go. Like you said.
Yeah. There's a lot of them coming, lads.
Yeah.
We gotta get moving.
Can I look to the bottom of the pit in disbelief?
You would have to make your way 40 feet down this passageway towards where the grasping eye are.
I would. There's a chance we could save her. I want to take
No,
it.
she's dead. We gotta go. And then MacLeod fires a shot down the hallway at the grasping eye that are running after them.
Yeah.
I'd try and go check anyway. Somebody can try and grab me if you want. You know, that'd be great. In the long run of things.
Yeah, MacLeod's like, look! Donald, look at me. They are trying to kill you. And then MacLeod like pushes Donald out of the doorway as an arrow like flies between them like, we've got to go.
Okay. And then I'm gonna run.
Like, if you want to help, I'm gonna need your spells. And then MacLeod loads another shot and then fires it down.
Oh no.
She's gonna tear up and then she's gonna run. Momo's actually tearing up a little bit.
I'm sorry to say that I've rolled a few of these arrow shots as you're trying to escape through the doorway. And most of them have been less than exceptional and have missed. However, Hawk, I have hit you with a natural 20.
Oh.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh.
Let's
Hit
go.
me with it. Hit me with it.
I wasn't done.
Oh, did you roll 2 20s?
I confirmed it with another natural 20.
Oh no!
However, the third was not a natural 20.
God, it's the old and the new.
Oh, so close. All right, yeah. What? I'm excited. What happens?
You take 12 points of damage as an arrow embeds itself directly at the base of your spine on your back, hitting between your armor. And you nearly collapse as you are rushing forward. The chest that you are carrying drops on your end as you just inadvertently grab your back and howl in pain as you feel the hot, stinging pain of this arrow shaft piercing into your back.
Oh, is it like right in my spine?
It's right in your spine.
Oh,
And
can I am I having trouble walking now?
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw to see if you're able to move past the pain and walk. Otherwise, you're going to be fairly hampered in your escape.
Oh.
I am immediately stressed.
All right, let me pull this up so that we can see your roll.
Come on. Sorry, I shouldn't be yelling about it. What?
You got a natural 20 on your roll, so that is very good for you. Hawk, I need you to roll that again to see if you confirm it with another natural 20.
Oh.
That would be 2 natural 20s versus 2 natural 20s.
Oh my god.
This is going to be a session, I guess.
God.
So this
hit by
is
an
like
arrow,
okay,
but
that's
did
a
he?
9. But still, oh gosh, that would have been amazing if it was 2. No, that's a 9.
Okay, so you didn't confirm, but you did get a natural 20. So I am going to say that though you are in immense pain and you are slowed, you are not in any way prevented from being able to move forward.
I just like grab it and I rip the arrow out from my back. I throw it on the ground.
MacLeod freaks the fuck out. I was like, no, God, no.
You do feel all of that pain and blood is rushing down your back, but you do manage to steel yourself. Saray, you feel Hawk slump behind you.
I'm gonna turn, look, and I'm just gonna keep pulling on the damn chest. I'm not gonna, if he's going down, I'm taking the chest. I'm not taking him.
You are pulling the chest, but it is very heavy, and you will have to encumber yourself greatly to be able to pull this out. You're very strong, so I do believe that you can do this, but it is going to be very, very difficult for you to do alone. Do you choose to carry it on your own, or are you going to?
No. I assume what's happening is Hawk still is in hold of the chest, but he fell. So like the chest, like his side hit the ground, and then I'm still pulling. I'm probably dragging him along with me. If he's not moving, I don't care.
Hey, are we in an initiative order?
Yeah, so you are in an old initiative order from last session. I can tell you exactly what those are. So Ray is going to be going at 22, MacLeod goes at 20, Doddle, you go at 20 as well, and Hawk, you go at 1.
Oh.
Which now makes all the more sense, right?
Yeah.
So hearing what Saray is doing, let's go to MacLeod and Doddle. What would you two like to do?
MacLeod, why don't you go first?
MacLeod, upon seeing Hawk get shot with an arrow and then pull it out, field medic training jumps into him, and he's like, "Oh my god, no!" And he's gonna run over and pull out a small, what looks like kind of a putty that he puts some different leaves and herbs in, and as he's mashing it up, it's like changing color and it starts fizzing.
Arrows are flying around you as this is happening, and you hear shouts, and there are a number of the Grasping Eye that have made their way across the pit and are headed down this corridor. Busby is on red alert. Quite literally, the color of the gem that insets in the center of your automaton has turned red, is blinking, and you hear...
Doddle, I'm going to need you to fly some spells down there. Busby, help her with that. Hawk, next time you get hit with an arrow, don't pull it out. Wait for me to come and help you. And then he's going to shove the putty into, like, the wound on his back, which I imagine can he get to that? Or is it a thing that he's going to need?
The armor makes it difficult, but you do manage to make it through. I will allow you to make a medicine check. I know you're doing a spell, but if we'll see if we can like add you a little assistance to that by you making a skill roll.
20.
Yeah, so you actually are able to maneuver around the armor very easily. Go ahead and do whatever you'd like.
Does
to do.
MacLeod see like the skin underneath and everything?
Yes, I would assume.
Oh yeah, in that case, you see a lot of surgical scarring back there, buddy.
I'm not going to comment on that yet. I'll log that away. And he's gonna MacLeod like puts the putty into the wound, and it like fizzes and festers, but heals quite quick. And it casts Cure Wounds. Cure Wounds. That was a lot of guff for saying I'm just gonna cast Cure Wounds.
Yeah, but I love the description, so thank you for that.
That is 10 healing, which is almost all of it.
So you almost healed all of the wound. It does close up. The bleeding stops. You're still in pain, Hawk, but you are able to work past it.
We are in the hallway with traps that had the traps. Correct?
You are in the hallway. You're moving into the sewer structures that have the traps. Yes.
Okay. Can MacLeod, after he shoves the thing in, do a real quick cursory glance around to see if he spots any trap things, anything that they're going to need to avoid? Are they like, is he going to have to make a defense barrier?
You can't do it this round. I think that we've already given you a skill check, and you've already got a spell.
Way too much sense.
So
that's fine. Yeah, that's good.
Doddle, what are you doing? You've heard all of this happening. MacLeod is assisting Hawk, and Saray seems to be very intent on getting this chest out of the way.
Well, that depends how many people are on the other side and how many people are on the side closest to us in regards to the pit.
2 of them have made their way across the pit, and 8 of them are currently either firing arrows or preparing to make their way across the pit.
Perfect. As I've said, I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate, and it's the coolest shit when someone actually says a thing, and then things happen, so I've started Googling Elvish words for things. So Doddle is going to outstretch her hand and say Hislania, which is the Elvish word for fog, and I'd like to cast Fog Cloud over top of the pit and around the 8 people.
All right. So as you do so, first of all, I'll give you an inspiration for the Elvish lore, and I'd like for you to tell me exactly where you're going to center that. It's 20 feet. Is that correct?
Really hoping that all the people are not going to see the pit and just go do. So like, I'd like to cover the pit and also cover the people about to walk towards the pit.
Okay, so the fog immediately begins to erupt around that area as you stretch your goblinoid hands out, and it does begin to become very difficult to see past it. The arrows that were flying through do stop, so the arrows are no longer shooting at you.
Really?
You still hear shouts.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they can't see through it, so they're not going to try to fire. They might hit each other. So you've stopped the arrow fire. You do hear shouts, and you do hear kind of like careful clamoring around stone. You think that you've slowed them down enough for you and your companions to get away.
Hell
Now,
yeah.
Yeah, so finally, Hawk, this pain is striking across your back. What do you do? Do you help Saray with the treasure chest? Do you do something else?
I pick myself up and I'm gonna help move with the treasure chest, and I turn backwards towards the grasping eye, and I'm going to fire 2 bolts of Eldritch Blast angrily back at them.
All right. So yes, you shoot backwards. You can go ahead and roll. You do have a disadvantage because the wall of fog is concealing them.
Right. So this is like complete blind fire then. I shoot them hopefully at what I think is 1 target at least to try and get them down. So that is, the first one is 16 to hit.
All right.
With 8 points of damage. And then the second bolt is going to be 1, 2. That's a 9 for the second one.
So the first bolt that you shoot out, there's a shriek of ravens as you hold your hand out, and this dark purplish black energy just erupts into the cloud of fog that Dottle has erected here. And inside of it, there's like a spark, like there's lightning inside of a storm cloud. And you hear someone scream, and you hear someone falling into a pit. The second bolt, as you shoot it out, it seems to strike stone on the far wall beyond.
All right, and then with my free action, I'm just gonna shout, "Just get to the door, everybody! We need to get to the door."
Most of you are standing at the threshold now as you try to push yourself through, but nobody's really crossed that threshold yet.
Is it too late to say I use my movement to also run towards the door?
You can run through the door if you want.
I would like to do that, please.
Okay, so Dottle has already made their way through the door and is now on the other side. The rest of you are making your way as well. Yeah, so everyone can use their movement. I just need to know, Hawk, are you also shouldering the weight of the treasure chest or not?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so all of you make it through. Hawk and Saray are considerably slowed in all this, but all of you are through the door. And then it becomes the end of the round. And at the end of the round, you do see figures emerging from the fog. And it seems like the large number of those thugs have made their way across and are now repositioning themselves to start to fire at you again. Some of them have short bows and some of them have crossbows. So arrows and bolts are now beginning to fly through the air again, as other individuals with axes and long swords are making their way closer to you. One of them has a fairly large shield that they're holding up in front, and the others are behind. And you hear a lot of gruff shouts as you quickly make your way away from them. Now, at the top of the round, Saray, what do all of you do? Is there anything that you want to do as you're leaving this complex?
I'm just trying to get the hell out of there as fast as possible. So I want to use my movement and my action to just get out of there. And I will drag Hawk if I have to.
Okay, so you and Hawk are going to be both moving at 1. Okay. So since you are tethered together by this treasure chest, your initiative is going to drop all the way down. Dottle and MacLeod, what are you doing as you leave the doorway?
Can I cast a spell?
You may, yes.
Sweet.
As long as you have slots or a cantrip that works.
I got slots. How many people are on the other side of the pit now?
Well, it's hard to tell. Some of them are still in the fog, but 8 of them seem to have emerged.
Ew.
And are on the other side of your fog cloud.
Rude.
Dottle, what you planning?
She doesn't do that.
I sort of wish she would, but...
I love you.
Okay, so I'm gonna Do I need anything besides a drop of water? Right. Okay, so she was crying because Greta ate shit. And she's gonna take her tears and say Ned. Which is the Elvish word for water, apparently. And I'd like to push my hands, and I'd like to cast Tidal Wave in the hopes that I can push them all into the pit.
All right, so they're gonna get a dexterity saving throw against your spell.
Well, that's gonna buy us some time.
MacLeod.
All right. So I've rolled for pairs of them, and a number of them really do latch onto the walls. You can't see what's happening, but there's an enormous swell of water that kind of erupts from this tier that you fling forward, and all of this water from behind you, moving around you, shoots down this corridor as your opponents are blasted with this heavy gush of wave that cycles down and begins pushing them backwards. Clearly, you see the shapes that are fighting. When the tidal wave subsides, there are a number of wet and scattered thugs that are sprawled out all across the floor. You only count 6 of them that are outside of the fog cloud. The others are not present or in your line of sight, and you're not sure what has happened. So are you continuing to use your movement to run at that point?
Yes, please.
Okay, MacLeod, what are you doing?
Oi, that works. Loads. He grabs like a really very quite a large cartridge full of this super thick liquid that he loads in, and then pulls out a small vial and Dartle, you know fire stuff, right?
Yes.
I am gonna chuck a puddle of grease. Can you set it on fire?
I could. MacLeod, you are so intelligent, and that's such a great idea. I have made the entire hallway wet. Is that going to put a damper on your plans?
No, that's how chip pan fires are made.
Oh, hell yeah! Toss that shit!
He loads the cartridge into the gun and gonna cast grease on just before where the huge tidal wave is, so the grease can spread out in the hopes that Doddle lights it on fire next turn.
All right, Hawk and Saray, is now your turn. Would you choose to continue to just run? Are you doing a dash, or?
I would like to dash if I can.
That depends on Hawk.
Yeah, I don't want to leave them behind.
We're fine!
Oi, we're fine, keep going.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna Eldritch Blast down the hallway again.
Okay, so you're not doing a dash. You both can move normally. That means, Saray, that you can do something as well. It does slow you down. An Eldritch Blast shoots down the hallway. You can make 2 rolls. These are not at a disadvantage because you can see a few figures that are stumbling up.
All right, so the first one is a 15 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one's an 18 to hit, 19 points of damage overall.
Okay, so the first blast that you shoot out is buffeted by the individual with the shield, and it kind of just gets absorbed by the shield, but the shield is charred from the arcane energies that are blasted across it. The second hit, however, blows through the shield, rendering it useless as the shield crumples and breaks underneath the attack, knocking this individual back. They are on the ground trying to pull themselves up. They look like they have been wounded fairly severely by your Eldritch Blast, meaning that the rest of those who were in that area no longer have that shieldsman to be able to defend them. So they are now more exposed than they were. Saray, is there anything that you want to do since you now have an action? You're not able to dash. You cannot do that while you're tethered to Hawk.
Saray's gonna groan. And then I only have darts, and I don't think my darts have enough range. I'm pretty sure they don't.
You're probably too far away to use
Yeah,
darts.
so I'm gonna inspect the area and make sure that there's nothing, the door's gonna stay open. There's nothing that's gonna slow us down ahead of us.
Make a sleight of hand check with an advantage because you've come this way before.
Okay. 17?
Yes. So you recall having made your way through here before that there are a number of traps that are inlaid within the sewer structure that is around this safe house, namely those spears that were inset into the ground and a number of traps that you and Bretta were able to subvert when you first came through. If you traipse through all of this corridor, it could very well
set off
trigger off those additional traps. So as fast as you want to go, you know that there's a lot of danger here.
Right.
It comes into your because you're thinking about the door and about making sure that the door is open and everything. It does occur to you in your roguish mind that that door is very solid stone, and currently it is open.
Okay. I'm gonna yell then. We need to get behind the door.
Yep. Yeah.
So go!
I'm going.
Okay, so everybody's rushing down the corridor. You're all charging. Your Dawdle, you're waist deep in sewage, and everyone else, the deep, thick, black, kind of putrid water is splashing around you as you are pushing your way down these corridors, no longer trying to carefully move along these stone walkways that are on either side. It's far too precarious and too slow. So you're just rushing through these corridors as Saray is keeping a sharp eye on where all the traps are. Arrows are flying from behind you, and you feel your enemies pressing up against you as they shout for you to halt, to stop where you are. And you continue to run, hoping to escape with the treasures that you have stolen. Illyri. You are deep underwater. It rushes around you. It is dark and cold, and you hear the silent thrumming of the deepest places of the sea. It is not evil, nor is it good. It is a neutrality of nature that is wrapped around you like a thick woolen blanket, muffling almost everything around you. Your eyes throw themselves open, and while you are very much able to hold your breath far longer than most who walk the dry worlds of Abir Terrell, due to your mother's heritage that has been passed down to you, you still feel the acceptance of this sense of drowning deep beneath the waves. They lap back across you as you float weightlessly in this dark and empty space, and in all of this, there is a faint, dull light above you, and you struggle and begin pushing yourself towards the surface, hoping that you are swimming in the right direction as you feel your lungs pressed up against your chest, bursting as they seek some last gasp of air. I would like for you to make an athletics check at a disadvantage, please. A 20 is very good. It is at a disadvantage, however, so I do need you to roll twice. You are also muted, my friend. That's a natural 20. So you either have the dirty 20 or the natural 20 that we will choose from. I would kindly appreciate it if you would stop showing off. So yeah, you do manage to pull yourself up. You're struggling through this thick, cold water, and you very quickly dart to the surface, and you feel your lungs immediately filled with clean, crisp sea air as you burst forth from the surface, and you are floating off the shore of an island. There is a familiarity to it, and it takes a moment, but you realize that it is the same island that your father and your mother raised you upon.
Oh, I start making laps. I start just like hauling to the shoreline.
You swim vigorously to the shore, pulling yourself out, water dripping off of you in droves as you
step onto the wet sand, and you feel the warmth of the sun behind you, and you feel the breeze working its way across your wet skin. You are wearing everything that you were wearing just a moment ago, but your mind is clouded, and you know that something horrible has just happened, but you don't recall what. You have a sense of impending dread and this pressing feel of something important that has been forgotten continues to haunt you. And you're standing on this shore, and you look down at yourself again, and you are no longer wearing the clothes that you were wearing, and you are no longer the height that you were just a moment ago. You are now that young girl, barefoot, standing on the shore, watching the horizon and wondering where your mother has gone. You feel a hand on your shoulder, and you look up and you see the kind, aged face of your father, the old sailor who had given up the sea for love. What do you see out there, Illyri?
Nothing, Dad. Just the sunset.
And what are you looking for?
I'm just looking for what's next. Like, what are we gonna do?
The man turns you so that he's looking directly into your eyes, pulling you away from the horizon. You're my child. You can do anything. And no one is able to tell you otherwise. Anything that you do, I will be there. The moment fades as your father's face dissolves into a thin mist in front of you, and the island shudders as it is now nighttime in the blink of an eye. Somewhere in the distance, there is an empty sense of dread. You see your breath plume around you. Ravens in the distance on a deserted isle. You are as you were when you first emerged from the waves now, Illyri, and you are cold again. And where your father was standing, another figure appears. It is a shadowy form, humanoid. Hard to see the features of this deep black void that stands in front of you. There you are. I thought you might be lost. But no. You're still here.
Still here? What do you mean? I just got here. Like, to a party or something?
Of a sort. Come with me, please. And this shadowy dark figure turns and starts walking into the tree line off of this beach that is now very dark and shadowed. Everything around you has a gray cast to it and seems much emptier than it was just a moment ago.
Leary just takes like a deep breath and swallows whatever nightmare is going on in her head and just moves forward.
As you do, you walk into the tree line, and the palm trees that are shuffled here immediately dissolve into a stone corridor. And this shadowy figure begins to shape itself, and it's clearly robes, and the individual is holding something in front of them, and immediately it sparks to life with a flickering green flame. As that green light begins to wash across this dull gray stonework, you see another figure. She is tall and very delicate looking.
There is a shadowy grayness to all of her appearance, but she has much more form here than this other shape. Almost as if she is translucent, you can see the stone beyond her. A beautiful and delicate woman with a pair of very piercing white blue eyes. She looks to you. She has a fur-lined cloak upon her, and she is also carrying one of these torches that ignites, and this green flame begins flickering as this darker shadow passes by her. She looks at you sadly, nods, and then begins walking as well as the two figures move in front of you. Do you continue on, Illyri?
I guess they think I'm going to be playing tonight. Sure, yeah, let's go on.
You continue to walk, and these corridors seem to stretch like a maze, turning and twisting. You quickly lose way as corridor leads upon corridor, and you follow those flickering green flames. Every once and again, the delicate female form turns and looks at you, and then turns and looks back. Eventually, you start hearing other footsteps around you, and they seem to be close behind you. Boots, the heels of clicking against stone. 4, maybe 5 individuals. Do you turn around, or do you keep walking?
Can I just say to the people, I'm going to continue forward, but I'm just going to say to the people I'm walking with, you all expecting a big crowd tonight?
The shadowy form, this wraith, turns and regards you as they continue to walk. Your spirit is strong. You have many that are traveling with you. You are never alone.
I've felt alone quite a many times. This is just for tonight. For tonight, we're just gonna play some music. Is that what's happening?
Yes, music. You are gifted. Your talents will come in handy, won't they?
No, I wouldn't say gifted, but I know how to play a tune or two.
Come along. Eventually, the corridors end in a set of large double doors. The shadowy figure, as you continue down them, has slowly become more and more solidified. Now you see some features, and it feels as if the form is taking something more tangible, less ghost-like. You see an old man, frail and thin, wearing a fur cloak, a balding head with long white hair that strings down around him. And he looks back. Are you ready, my dear?
You know what they say about me? I was born on a green banner. It does mean I'm ready to go, though. Do you have any song requests?
Your time to sing will come. Besmit, open the door. The beautiful, frail spirit turns and places their hand upon the door. They swing open into a room, and a gush of old air that smells heavily of the dead and ancient crypts fills the air around you. Torches light on sconces in the center of a circular
stone corridor. And as that door opens, you see a shadowed figure moving about, the same figure that is standing in front of you. The old man moving about a series of corpses laid upon tilted tables that all look inward into the stone circle. Herbs and a river of fluid and blood flow around the perimeter of this stone circle as a moat of blood greets you.
Now, I wasn't sure I was ready for this.
There are glyphs that are ignited with the same green glow as they work their way around pillars and the circle itself. You hear mumbling and chanting as the old man moves back and forth, injecting each of the corpses with strange fluids in large, sharp-looking vials that are connected to barbed needles. That is not what disturbs you, though. One of the corpses which this figure is working upon is you. Your throat has been slit and roughly stitched back together. And as you look to your side, you no longer see the spirit of that frail, beautiful woman, but a hideously twisted wretch. An amalgamation of strange parts that do not fit together. A large, watery, strange eye that looks quite dead as it works its way around. A face of contorted broadness with arms and limbs that do not fit or match. Cobbled together, this form seems to be, and wrapped in all of the ragged garb of a gravedigger. She stands there and looks at you, and you realize it is the same figure, but now made flesh. Wordlessly, the figure turns and beckons you forward as the hallway behind you disappears. And standing there on the perimeter of this circle, as these words are spoken and this strange magic enacted, you see other spirits, other figures. One of them glares at you angrily. It is the face, blood-soaked, of Teetelbaum Moosnick. The spirit wavers there, casting hate silently with their eyes. Another spirit you do not recognize. Finely crafted elven armor, gently, carefully built around a strong form, standing with a long, delicate sword at the ready. You cannot see or clearly make out the face, but there is a flowing fall of gentle hair, soft and lavender. All of the spirits waver and shudder in the circle as it is clearly some dark secret that is being drawn upon here. And you feel yourself fading as the twisted form of Besmit beckons you forward. And the chanting rings in your ears and everything drops away, and you do everything you can, Illyri, to grasp onto the memory of that warm beach. Even the water that you had found yourself drowning in was less discomforting than this place.
What do you do?
It is starting to feel very clear what kind of situation we're in now, and I don't think I'll be playing for a crowd. So Illyri's going to stiffen up a little bit, like put her shoulders back and really just kind of march forward and take this person's hand and follow the instructions.
The chanting grows. You are carefully seated on this stone platform. You place one foot upon it and then another, and you are being pressed down into the corpse of your former self as other spirits begin to dissolve around you. Each spirit screaming in agony as they are pulled apart.
Inashra Nithanai Anochanoch Nithanai Ishanaka.
Everything around you shudders. And your eyes slowly flit open. Pain. Your neck. You feel that. Calder, there's a gentle rocking of the Kraken's kiss. You have been at sea now for many months. There has been no shortage of spoils found. Next to you is a worn mop and a well-used bucket full of water and sudsy soap that has only partially been used to swab this section of the deck. You are sitting comfortably in a little nook underneath one of the staircases that leads up to the section that works its way around the captain's quarters. It is where you sleep. It is what you consider a home. It is not particularly comfortable, but it is the only part of the ship that no one bothers you. Well, almost no one bothers you. You have a old journal that you found on a raiding party, and part of it is filled with very boring notes on nautical adventures that are far less bloody than those that you and your brother have undertaken. Having been raised here on the Kraken's Kiss, you have spent much of your life in piracy. Thankfully, those who surround you have been kind enough, and you have been fed. The captain here, Balthazar Graves, is well respected and feared. He is a powerful individual who has often shown his strength to others through acts of immediate and swift violence. Anyone within the Kraken's Kiss who breathes even the thought of mutiny has found themselves very quickly relieved of their lives. The thing that you remember most about Balthazar Graves is the captain's eyes, always strangely alight with a golden yellow hue. They seem to breathe like a jungle creature, and he would always work his way across the deck with those bright yellow eyes, surveying the ship that has been greatly feared on the Sword Coast. The Sea of Swords, the Reckless Sea, and all the way across, the Moonshae Isles have known the fear of the Kraken's Kiss. And all the way to the north, even into Icewind Dale, tales have been told of the sails that run red and the fear that comes with them. You are not known as Calder here. the only one who really knows that name doesn't call you it. Here, you are called Squig, and you are left to do the work that very few others would dare to do. You scrub, and you empty chamber pots, and you work in the kitchens, peeling potatoes, and doing what must be done to see that you live another day. For the only reward that you ever receive is a meal twice a day, a cup or two of wine, sometimes whiskey, and your life. Every day you wake up, uncertain as to whether or not this will be the end for you. And while you have stagnated here, Squig, your brother has flourished. Quick to learn and quick to forget, Dorian Grail is now a bosun upon this ship, carrying the authority and weight of somebody very young for the position. But the captain has seen great potential and has rewarded it. And you have watched as your brother has slit throats of individuals that he once called friend at the word of the captain. The rest of the crew moves their way back and forth on the deck of this galleon, and you sit here with this old journal in front of you, half of it filled with nautical boredom, the other half filled with your drawings. And as you sit there scratching away with a piece of charcoal, 2 pages lie before you. As you etch upon them, the siren's call. Every detail of that ship that you can remember pressed onto these parchment pages. Oi there.
Cal shuts the book.
What are you doing?
Just looking over some loot that we got. Just nothing really. Boring.
Anything that maybe the captain needs to see? Your brother Dorian stands in front of you, highly polished boots and that coat that he's so proud of.
Absolutely not. Nothing that would interest him. Boring captain's log stuff, maybe, at best.
All right. Fine, then. You've been quiet. Why?
Boring is a little nice for me.
All right. Well, the captain's out of wine. You know how he gets.
His eyes go wide. Like, yes, I do.
So, why don't you make your way below deck, and instead of lollygagging around here, making yourself useful so that I don't have to carry you any further?
Cal runs his hands through his hair. Like, yeah. He just doesn't make eye contact with his brother, and he just goes off to it.
You pass by your older brother as you slink your way over to the staircase that leads below deck. Inside of the galley, you make your way down to where the kitchens are held, and there is a very huge half-orc with a brilliant mohawk that has been tied back, tusk that kind of juts out at one side, and a network of pockmarks as if a rifle or perhaps a musket had blown up in the wrong spot right next to their cheek.
Oi there, boy.
Hey, captain's out of wine.
I don't have.
Code black.
Yeah, I don't know that I have the storehouses to keep the captain afloat, as it were, for such a long time.
This half-orc is known as Morehouse, and you hear the clatter of a peg leg as he works his way across the kitchen over towards a locked cabinet. Pulling these large skeletal keys off of his belt, he works his way through and opens up one of the locks and draws the cupboard open, pulling forth a large black glass bottle with a cork in it.
The captain's best here. All right, lad. He'll have his cups and just don't. I like you enough, lad, to not want to see you dead. Just don't look him in the eye this time, right?
Kind of hard to avoid. I'm doing my best.
Oh, rest in peace, young lad.
It goes back
Same to you.
chopping some rotten-looking vegetables as you work your way back upstairs and towards the captain's quarters.
On the way out, I would like for him to say, "If I'm not dead in the morning, I'll see you for breakfast."
We're having dry sausage.
And you make your way up and out back to the top of the ship itself, walking towards the captain's quarters. Everyone, as they see this bottle, starts to stop what they were doing. Sailors halt their work. Ropes that were being spooled and the sails and canvas that were being repatched, all of the work for a moment stops as you make what has often been a funereal march for any of the young members of the crew who have made a misstep during this crucial moment of delivering wine to the captain. Some more religious sailors make various signs of their gods. Others mumble to themselves. Some are smirking, eager to see the bloodshed. You walk your way across the deck of the ship and eventually make yourself known at a pair of dark ebony doors, finely carved with wavy glass that has been inset into a number of panes in front of it.
He knocks gently. "Sir, your wine."
Nothing for a long, silent moment. And then the creak of the floorboards, groaning as something approaches. From the other side of the glass, you see a shadowy silhouette. And through all of it, a pair of bright yellow eyes that appear at the door as it creaks slowly open.
Cal kind of lets his hair fall in his face a little bit, so should he accidentally catch his eye, it might be kind of hidden. It was your best from the galley, sir.
I want you to roll a persuasion check.
But
It's a natural one.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Oh no.
You gotta roll a persuasion to give this guy booze, and we're probably gonna have to fight him at some point. I'm terrified.
Oh no.
all right, okay, so we're doing this again.
Let's rock and roll, buckaroo.
It's a 9.
I think we've solidified that Calder should not continue to work in the service industry.
My best. Is that what you said, lad? My best.
My best, not your best. Your best, obviously, would be far better than what we have left.
What are you playing at?
Playing at. I'm
Little squig.
playing at wanting to wake up tomorrow in one piece, sir.
Lofty goals.
And you feel the bottle being lifted out of your hands as this enormous fist takes it from you, and the bottle leaves your person.
The smile on your face. It reminds me of something. Ah, yes. The look on your father's face when I slit your mother's throat.
The door slams in front of you.
Al just looks up where his face was a moment before and just stares at the door for a second. He kind of straightens up and he turns around and he's got a very dark and far away look on his face.
Juniper.
An F in the chat, fam.
I, Matthew Ekberg, will kill them, not MacLeod. I am personally angry at that.
Juniper, the alarms of the city watch surround the streets as the rain pours down around you. You are bloodied, wounded, and exhausted as you burst into the alleyway. Within your hands, the shield. Behind you, the members of the Centarum, those careful allies that you have fought with all the way through the streets, against the gangs and against the city, to make your way here to this warehouse. You do not know what has happened to them, but there was a lot of blood. They were badly wounded and surrounded. The strong barbarian had shouted in rage, throwing 3 guardsmen across the warehouse into the crates. There was a sharp splintering noise as you managed to throw yourself through the doorway and into the street. They are behind you now, and there is the flickers of a fire that have started here. But most importantly, within your grasp, the icon of Sylvanas, very calmly and serenely, is looking at you. Its finely carved surface is strange and unlike anything that you have seen before, as if it had grown from one single piece of bark. Its rough surface is that of an elderly man with an intense but serene gaze. Lips tightly pursed, and a long beard that forms the bottom of the shield itself. All across it, there is a network of growth. Leaves, vines, and moss. And as the seasons change, so does your god's face, shifting between the cycles that bring life and death and renewal. Soaked in this alleyway, rain pouring across you in rivers, your hair unbound, blood soaking through your side, the blade wound burning you. The shield, in its calm, stalwart gaze, shifts ever so slightly, and the eyes open just a little wider as a soft green glow emanates across the shield, and you feel the wound at your side healing. What do you do?
As it's healing me, I'm gonna search for an alley to duck through.
The alarm bells continue, and in the distance you hear the shrieking sounds of the enormous griffin riders. And in the rainy sky, you see silhouettes across the skylight. There are roofs and buildings that have been stacked upon each other. You are in the dock ward. And this filthy alley is flooded with rainwater as you splash across cobblestone, seeking a place to hide. Do you wish to go further away or try to find something here?
Is the wound healed enough to be closed, or?
The wound, in the moment that it takes you to move across the wet cobblestone, is fully healed.
Oh yeah, then she's gonna keep running.
The pain is gone, and you feel that Sylvanus's blessing has been placed upon you.
Mm-hmm.
You are reunited with this sacred item. And though it has cost you a great deal, your allies within the Zentarum continue to fight behind you, allowing you to slip away into the night. Running through the streets, again you hear the cries of some great beasts above you as the bells continue to ring. Sailors are still working. They are moving through the streets, and all of them take note of you. This stranger, this white-garbed priestess who has burst into the streets, and as filthy and blood-soaked as you are in this moment, you are quite strange here. The shield itself seems to draw many eyes.
What all do the people look like around me? Like,
usually at this time of night, most of the work on the dock ceases. However, there are enough strange, somewhat dangerous-looking individuals that move about the dock ward at this time. While most of the warehouses have been shuttered for the evening, there are individuals that are lurking in corners. There are a few stray carts that are moving around, carrying whatever mercantile items need to be moved from place to place.
Mm-hmm.
Some transactions are happening in the corner as you see an individual handing a bag of coin over and another handing some paper-wrapped package to them to be carefully tucked inside of a cloak before they sneak away into the shadows. However, above, those silhouettes are getting closer, and in the distance, further down the street to your left, you do hear the clamor of horse hooves and armor.
How many other alleyways, like pathways, do I see?
You could run directly in front of you into another alleyway.
Mm-hmm.
You could continue to the south side of the street, which would lead you into those horses, or you could go the north side of the street, which seems to be vacant, but is filled with many of these lingering figures.
All right, I'm gonna go to the one ahead of me and just book it.
You run across the street and into another dark alley. It becomes very, very hard to see here as the lamplight of the dock ward disappears. Do you do anything to allow yourself to see here?
Well, I only have... She's gonna cast light on her whip, just a dim light.
A faint divine glow emanates from your whip as you say another word of prayer, and the alleyway reveals itself to you. There are broken crates and boxes here, a midden heap, and a number of individuals that are either drunk or perhaps even dead, sprawled out onto the ground underneath very loose wooden overhangs that have been erected. They seem to be destitute individuals that have chosen this alleyway as their temporary home.
All right. Jeez, is there anyone here that's like hurt? Are they just drunk or dead?
Make
Can I
a
roll
medicine check, yes.
Okay.
You can make a medicine check, and I'll tell you more if you're going to stop and pay a little more attention to those that are in the corners of these shadows. That is a natural 1.
Come on, buddy.
Go ahead and roll it again and see if you get a second natural 1. We're on fire today. No, you didn't confirm that with a second natural 1, but you did get that 1 natural 1. You have no idea, and it's really hard to tell because of the rain and your situation. You're harried. They could be dead, they could be alive, they could be hurt, they could be perfectly fine and drunk. It's just so hard to tell right now. If you wish to stop and study them, I'll allow you to remake that roll in 1 minute.
No. I think she's going to No, I think she's gonna look behind her to where the alleyway entrance was that she just entered, and
The street is full of armored horses now.
See, okay,
and you see the city watch dismounting, and a number of individuals poking through the streets. Torchlight flickers across the rough warehouses.
All right, nope. She's gonna look forward and go.
You continue down this alley, past the destitute forms that surround you, deep into the darkness of the dock ward. As you go further back, you see a series of structures that are stacked up upon each other, and it becomes a network of old, decrepit huts that have been lashed together. There are fish that are hung out to dry on a number of lines, and they are strung out before you. The whole area reeks of rotten fish and chum, as a number of buckets are in areas here to collect the entrails that are removed from cleaning fish, and they have been left here. And even in the wet rain, there are clouds of flies and maggots that are swarming over them as you go deeper and deeper into this very poorly maintained and wholly dangerous looking area within the dock ward. What are you looking for? A place to hide? Or are you looking to just get as far away from the scene of the crime as possible?
Hide. She's looking for a place to hide.
All right.
Specifically, though, she's looking for a place that's not a barrel of chum.
Hiding in a barrel of chum is ill-advised, as you are probably 10 feet away from them at this point, and you are barely able to contain the sickness that is rising in your throat by the sheer smell of the thing. Go ahead and make a survival check for me, please, Jim.
22.
Very good. You look around and you realize that this can help you. If they are using any sort of tracking creatures, the smell of this chum will most likely throw anything off of your scent. However, the rain is also helping you. So between the rain and the filth that is in these alleyways, you feel that you might have made a very good choice as to how best to hide from the forces that are seeking you. However, as you look about, you do notice that some of these buildings seem fully abandoned. And if you were to enter one of these huts, you might be able to find a small, dry area that you could rest for a short period of time.
Yeah, she's gonna go investigate one of the huts and just see if it's actually vacant.
Mm-hmm. I will make a perception check for you. You got a natural 20. So go ahead and roll that again. And roll it. Just roll survival again or whatever. We just want to know if you get another natural 20 on your roll. You did not. That's a 5. All right. So, June, you have managed to listen very carefully at the kind of broken half-hinged door that is like a loose tooth on the front of this shack, and you put your ear up against it and you listen and you hear nothing at all.
Okay, she's going to quietly try to open this door.
It creaks forward, and you're fairly quiet in entering. It is dry. There are small rivers of mud that are still around the base of it. It is, from all that you can tell, a 10 by 10 hut, and the walls are made out of what seem to be old pallets and broken boxes and crates. You can see canvas has been stretched across the top of it, and there are some areas that are leaking small drips of water, but you are much safer and drier than you were before. And entering into the space, while you can still smell the filth out in it, it does remove some of the immediacy of that stench. What would you like to do once you enter into this hut?
Okay, once she's here, is there a window, or how many windows would there be?
It is a 10 by 10 hut. There are a number of cracks between boards that you can see through, but not a window.
Okay, then she's gonna go over to the crack, if there's one facing the front of the hut, and see if like she can just look through to make sure there's like no one coming through.
All right. You start to study your surroundings, and you see no one following, but in the sky you can still hear the shrieks of those griffins as they circle overhead. And further in the distance, you hear the ringing of the alarm bells.
For now, June is going to cure some of her wounds a little bit. Did you go? No? Oh, it did it on here. Okay. So I'm cured for 4 points. Better than nothing. And then
you heal yourself, June. What do? Do you make an encampment for the night, or do you keep an eye on the alleyway waiting for a time to continue your run?
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna keep an eye out for a little bit, and just to make my escape.
I feel the exhaustion washing across you. You have tirelessly tracked the shield down. The Zentarum was moving quickly. You fought a number of groups from the Grasping Eye. You have just managed to see that all of your wounds are healed, and you feel sleep weighing very heavily upon you, but you fight it. I would just like for you to make a single Constitution saving throw, please.
15.
You manage to steel yourself, and despite the weights of desired sleep that seem to be washing across you, you push them away and continue your vigilant watch of the alleyway beyond. Sure enough, in about an hour's time, a number of individuals make their way through. City guard. Large, imposing, shining armor and white tabards. The symbols of Waterdeep emblazoned upon them, their sigils of station. Some of them are helmed, and all of them are well armed. 2 crossbowmen walk behind a very large individual with a shaved head and drooping mustaches. Others are walking on either side with long swords drawn, poking at areas, shouting out, "In the name of the god, show yourself. We have questioning for you lot. Appear now, and you will not be harmed. There may even be coin in it if you've seen anything of value. Make yourself known." They are perhaps 100 feet away at this point.
Scheiße.
They pound on a door. Another guard throws it open.
I don't see anything. Leave me be. I don't.
They drag what looks like an old rag-covered person out and throw them into the street. They begin questioning, trying to not be harmful, but clearly this individual is resisting. You hear shouts.
Through that little peekaboo. Can I like see them doing this?
Yes.
Ah.
It seems that they have that the questioning of this destitute individual that has been pulled out from their hovel, it seems to have been slowing them down. So while they're perhaps 80 feet away from you, they are deeply engaged in the questioning of this individual.
And it's just questions. They're not like beating on him.
No beating. I mean, they have had to drag the individual out because the individual was trying to slam the door on them.
Okay.
It's not kind, but it's not at the same time violent.
Okay. Well, it's nighttime, so it's probably dark. June's gonna turn off her light, and she's going to try to sneak out the door.
June, I just need you to make the stealth roll of your life.
Yep.
That is an 8. 8 is not an entire failure. It's just not great.
Yeah, not great.
It's not a wonderful roll. It's not a disastrous roll. I will now make a number of perception checks to see if you are noticed.
Come on, gods, have my back.
Maybe they do. I've rolled worse. Do you want the good news or the bad news?
Oh man, give me the good news. I want the bad news to hurt more.
The good news is that not everyone noticed you.
Oh, cool.
The bad news is a couple of them did.
Oh.
You start sneaking your way through the alleyway, and as you do, there is a shuffle of a crate that you just carefully place your hand on so that you can get as close to the wall as possible to keep yourself hidden in the darkness. And the shield is now strapped to your back, and you feel the shift of the crate far too late as a rat squawks and just kind of scurries across the alleyway in front of you. And you stumble back, and there's a very, very quiet shuffle of material as you've repositioned yourself. However, a number of individuals dart their heads up from the group of guards that are in this alleyway as the rain pours down around you.
Halt, who goes there? Name yourself.
As they're saying that, I'm gonna keep like tracking.
In the name of the MacLeods of Waterdeep, we demand that you halt.
Nope. She's gonna keep.
Okay, so now are you sneaking or running? You have two choices here, really.
She's sneaking. I'm assuming it's dark enough in there that they can't see me, but they know I'm there. So I'm
make another stealth check then. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're gonna keep sneaking, make another stealth check because we can't have you continue on with an 8.
Yep. Hello, stealth. Where are you? Please.
17 is very good. Okay, so you do manage to recover and you slip into the shadows and move yourself away from these guards. However, as you're carefully picking your way through this alley, those two guards break themselves off of the main group and start moving towards you with their swords drawn. They are not stealthing, so they're able to move considerably faster than you. You realize that at this rate, they will catch up with you very quickly.
Nope. June wants to cast something. Can't have that. Homie. She's gonna cast Spike Growth at level 2. Yup. And she's gonna cast it right before that little space she gets in, and it should be like a 20-foot radius. Yeah.
So as you move forward, you pray to Sylvanas and you touch the ground just briefly, and from it a network of jagged vine-like spikes erupt everywhere from the mud. And you continue to quickly move your way stealthily down the alleyway, and you hear a shout, "No, that!" as one of the guards has stumbled into your trap. You hear another shout, and the alarm bells continue to ring, and you hear the other guard very clearly shout out,
"A spell has been cast! Quickly! Get the magist of the Watchful Order!
bump that. At this moment, June takes off. She doesn't care if they hear her. She runs.
Okay, so now you're running and you're making your way through the wet streets. Your shield upon your back. Alarm bells ringing, the shriek of the griffins above you. The city watch of Waterdeep, hot in pursuit of you as you escape the scene of a crime.
It'd be like that.
MacLeod. Deep beneath Waterdeep, in the sewer system that you and your allies have found yourselves within, there is a set of iron bars behind you. Water is pouring in from all sides as the traps of this place have begun to slow your escape. Many of the guards are still struggling behind you, the thugs that were seeking your blood. Many of them have been struck by Doddle's magic or your gunshots, as Hawk and Saray have struggled forward with this enormous chest, pushing their way forward. The spears that have shot up are dense and heavy iron. Although they are very old, they are quite firm, and there is no easy escape from them. Doddle and others have had to try to squeeze their way through them to be able to escape. Water is rushing in from a number of channels that have been inset into the walls. And studying the situation as Busby beeps frantically, trying in vain to alert you to a danger that you're all too aware of. Another arrow flies over your head. The water is going to fill this passageway. And you know that you and your companions have very little time left before you will be forced to swim, not run.
I'm small. Am I already swimming?
You are already off the ground, yes, Donna.
Someone pick up the goblin.
MacLeod like offers his hand out, like, "Oh, come on my shoulders." We have yet to get past these spikes, right?
Yeah.
Right. Is there any way you can find out how to retract the spikes?
There should be an off switch somewhere nearby. Maybe I can trip something.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. Let me see, and then I'm gonna look around and see if there's anything button.
Can I help?
Moving stuff.
Yeah, I'll make a perception check for you, Saray, but I also want you to make a sleight of hand check, please. I'll give you an assist.
I just sadly doggy paddle over to MacLeod and climb up him like a tree.
Yeah, you see Busby kind of beep down as you move over, Saray, sloshing through water. Hawk, you stand, helping to kind of look around as that treasure chest is lumbering right in front of you by these spikes. Saray, you do find an area on the wall that you think is irregular, and it probably is some sort of trigger. You can attempt to retract the spikes.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull out my dart and I'm gonna like stick it in what I think is the trigger, and I'm gonna pry at it to try and like reset the trigger out, and maybe that'll like reset all of whatever internal gears there are.
Okay. Go ahead and make another sleight of hand check, please.
I'd like to add Flash of Genius to that, which adds
Please!
4. Which adds 4 to it, so that's now a 12.
8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
11?
Not 12, it's 11. I added 5 on it like a Dumbo. Yeah.
With an 11, you do not manage to retract it, although you do feel that you are very close to being able to achieve what you're seeking to do. It's just going to take a little longer. You're going to have to buy some time. Doddle, what do? You see the figures sloshing through the water and shouting, and more arrows and bolts are being shot out at you and your companions.
How confident does Saray look right now?
Saray is making progress. She certainly has located the correct spot, but hasn't quite yet triggered the trap.
I don't know. know. I don't know.
We're still being fired upon, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Aye. Doddle, you keep firing back.
I can help firing back as well. We
All right,
get
sure.
these spikes down.
Doddlehawk, fire down. Saray, what do we got? And MacLeod wants to see if he can check if there's a way to disarm the trap in some way, because he could just pour acid on it, but they're like knee deep in water, and pouring acid is going to spell really bad things for them.
I won't make you make a check for that. You look at this, MacLeod, and if you feel that putting acid on it is a good choice, you start to kind of think it through, and you realize that it would most likely just destroy the mechanism, meaning that in whatever position it is currently in, it would probably be stuck in. So if the goal is to try to remove the spikes from your path, destroying the trap trigger is probably a very bad idea.
All right. Right, let's give Saray a hand. Mago's gonna, with Doddle on his, giving Doddle a piggyback, he's gonna slosh over to Saray and try to look inside the hole, or figure out if that is the best way to do it. If he has a tool specifically designed for this, or if there's a thing that he can quickly fashion, like there's a metal rod that he can just bend in a way and then fix that in.
Yeah, you think that there might be a better way to make a tool for it, but it is a very specific skill to be able to maneuver and manipulate these sorts of traps. You think that the better choice is to probably build the tool and give it to Saray to use for an advantage.
Okay, sure.
Just make an intelligence check for me, MacLeod. Doddle, you're acting at the same time. What do you want to do?
Matthew, come on, my guy. Okay, so that's a 9, but I am adding Flash of Genius to that. I'm freaking out. So that's a
Your
13.
hands are wet and you're trying to build this specialized hook tool, and you're just taking these bits that you have and you're trying to assemble them, and the stuff keeps slipping, but you do manage to make something, and you thrust it over to Saray.
Saray, use this.
Doddle, what are you doing?
I'm gonna hit him with another tidal wave. I'm just gonna let one hand free and go, nah.
So easily enough, yeah, you're soaked to the bone, but you swell up this filthy water and push it towards your foes. Let me make a couple of checks here. Go ahead and roleplay amongst yourselves as you see fit.
You know when you're in a pool with people and you start splashing them and you're like, look, I'm a water bender. That's what I want to do. I want it to start small as she literally pushes it toward him and just go.
I like it.
When you do that, I'm gonna drop the chest and kind of follow at it, and I'm gonna put myself between the dudes and you, so that way there's the armored person.
Saray's still holding on to the chest, so the second you drop it, she just goes, because I presume that it's
it's on the bottom right now.
Water,
So it's been underwater, but you do have this tool.
Saray's not letting go of
Well, you're doing this with one hand. So you're lucky. I'm going to still give you an advantage because of Magleod's gift.
Oh, thank you.
But actually, it's Hawk's turn right now. So Hawk, it's the end of the round. What would you like to do?
All right, so I'm going to follow behind the tidal wave and go up to the closest person first, and I'm going to hit him with my green flame blade and do a divine smite if it hits.
Okay, so you're going to push forward and make the trek back the way that you came?
Yeah, I want to create a buffer between these guys and the rest of the party, so that way they can work.
All right, you move 30 feet. You do not yet reach somebody within melee range, but they are quickly coming towards you.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to start Eldritch Blast. Yeah, I'm going to get in there blasting.
Okay, so you're going to fire 2 Eldritch Blasts. You see 4 opponents that are still present. You think that a few of them were destroyed by the tidal wave that went before you. Go ahead and roll your strike for your Eldritch Blast.
All right. Boom. Boom. That is a 10 and a 13.
Okay.
I don't know if that's it.
Yeah, so both of those strike armor and push the individuals back, but you don't see that it's doing any damage to them.
Oh.
And they continue forward, gritting their teeth and pushing themselves through the thick water and the turmoil of the tidal wave that has just come past them. All right, so with that, they are going to fire actually they can't, because they are they have to pull themselves back up and put themselves back together after Dottle has kind of thrown them all. 2 of them are going to move up into your melee range, Hawk, and you are now dealing with 2 opponents. The other 2 retrieve their weaponry and start to aim down the corridor towards the others. They do not fire this round, however. But the 2 that have their swords drawn are going to fight you, Hawk. So there's 2 attacks, both of which miss as they strike against your armor. You do feel the heavy push of the blades as they cleave against you. Both of these individuals seem to be fairly strong, which would also explain why they were able to resist the incredible weight of all the water that was pushed through. You do know that these 4 are probably the last 4 that are immediately following you. That's the end of the round. We're going to go back up to the top. So, Ray, do you want to try to open the trap one more time?
Please.
You do have an advantage, so you can roll with an advantage or sleight of hand. It's a 5. That's horrible.
No.
And an 11. Neither is very good.
Sleight of hand, make it a 15. That's like, not sleight of hand, I'm sorry, Flash of Genius, I'm panic. Make it 15. That's like my last one I can do.
You just made that a 15, huh?
Yeah.
There's a clicking noise.
Thank
Ray,
God!
you just hit the DC 15.
Oh
my God. To trigger the trap as a spring pulls forward and the spikes immediately drop down. You feel that it is reset. You do not know how long it will stay as your tool is now wedged into this place.
Okay, great, go.
You can see this metal bit that MacLeod gave you wobbling as it's sticking in the wall. You know that there's a tension across it, and you have no idea how long it will remain there. Hawk is 40 feet away, fighting individuals with a green flame blade.
I make smart decisions.
Hawk, we need to go. I'm gonna be dragging that box. If Hawk's coming or not, I'm dragging that.
I will give you your movement, which is just getting the box over the threshold of the trap, so that if it does trigger, you will be on the other side.
Cool.
But that's all that you can do. That's about 10 feet of movement.
Okay.
All right. MacLeod, Dottle, it's your turn.
MacLeod is going to move across to the other end of the trap and then pull out his pistol and fire down, still having Dottle on his back, because he can't do much else. He can't like fumble that much. Dottle is very heavy. So yeah, just pistol.
Go ahead and roll to fire then.
I imagine I'm a very strong swimmer, but now my arms are half the length that they were, so I'm probably not used to swimming. So I'm gonna cling on to MacLeod.
There's a gunshot that rings out through the stone sewer passageway and echoes out. You're clinging on to MacLeod, and you see that his shot has gone wide, missing the opponents that are in the distance. What do you want to do, Dottle? Are you going to attack?
I don't know if there's much else I can do
You're spent on spell slots?
I'm getting there. I've got a bunch of first levels, which I think I need to save for shield, because I don't think summoning a familiar is the proper thing to do in this time.
You have your bonus hit points that I gave you too.
Oh shit, yeah.
Armor of Agathis.
Hey, what if I told you guys that I am still at full hit points right now? These guys have not hit me.
That's effectively where you want your goblin wizard to be. Because full hit points for you is like 3 or 4 strikes against some of the other characters.
Yeah, other than like a helpful serving of trauma, she's doing okay physically.
All right.
I can hold person. There's Scorching Ray, but we're surrounded by water. So, yeah, I'm just gonna... Is there something I could do? Can I kick my feet to maybe help MacLeod go faster or something? Is there a way that I can help MacLeod so we can get the heck out of here?
He's stopped. He's making sure that the others get past the traps.
I'm gonna try and not be a burden to my new friend, and I'm gonna start doggy paddling across the trap and let him be left to his own devices and not have to literally carry me.
Okay, you're swimming across. You see Sir Ray dragging this treasure chest through the water, and you look back for a moment and you see Hawk, blade flaming, fighting against a number of opponents. Okay, so with that, we're at Hawk. Hawk, you have 2 opponents right in front of you, and there are 2 that are firing bows and crossbows.
Yeah. Okay. So the first thing I do is I look at both of them.
You coming?
I don't want to kill you, but I have to live. There's stuff I have to do, and I'm going to hit the first guy. Who looks weakest of the 2 of them? Or they probably both look equally powerful. I'm gonna hit the first guy with my green flame blade. So that's a melee attack.
Mm-hmm.
Roll. That's a 21 to hit.
You have struck and have defeated their armor class with a 21.
And that's not bad. So that is 15 plus the green flame blade, which I will do in here, which does damage to both of them.
Okay.
So that is, for the first guy, 5 points, the second guy, 11 points of fire damage.
Okay, so both of them get struck with both the flame of the blade, and then what was the total damage on the strike itself?
So the first guy is 5 plus 15, so that's 20, and fuck it, I'm gonna Divine Smite him as
All
well,
right.
first
So
level.
tell me what the full damage is.
Okay, that's an extra 2d8, which is what I'm going to roll here, which is 11. So
Yeah.
11 plus 25.
Yeah. So you strike across the front of this thug as this strong-looking member of the Grasping Eye shrieks in pain as you have cleaved your sword across their face and down into their chest, and in front of you in the water, their intestines fall out as their skull has a huge crack and blood is just in gouts flying out of their body in spurts. They stumble back and fall into the water, shrieking in pain as they are killed. And the smell from your green flame blade and the fire that has licked across their flesh is very apparent in the air. The other individual has shouldered the flame and has managed to survive.
All right. I'm going to turn and I'm going to start booking it down the hall.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably going to give him an opportunity attack.
You absolutely are going to get an opportunity attack from one of them. Ouch.
Ooh, was that another 20?
Not a natural 20, but dirty enough to make me roll damage.
Oh, yes.
Oh no.
9 points of damage.
Okay.
And you just feel the sword kind of graze your shoulder as you push away. And you think that you have caught them off guard by the power of your last attack. So in doing so, you are able to break away, and you move how far? 30 feet?
Yeah, I'm going to do my full 30 feet down the hallway.
You are 10 feet away now from the threshold of this spear trap and potentially being locked on the wrong side of it. You glance over and you see the tool that Saray has wedged into the wall, and you see it tremor and vibrate as the tension from the springs within this trap are clearly pressed against it. It is now the end of the round. Do you have anything else you want to do? A bonus action or anything?
Yeah, I'm going to shout to MacLeod, go! I'm right behind you.
Maggle, you're about 15 feet away from Hawk at this point, as he's rushing forward.
Pure ignoring him. Maglo looks up at him and then loads his gun with another bullet as Doddle is now running away, and then aims it at the other people that are running toward them.
It's the top of the round, Saray. You're on the other side. Do you continue to drag this chest, or do you do something else?
I'm dragging that chest. I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm taking this damn chest with me. If Hawk is not gonna listen, then that's on him. He's gonna die. Whoops. Bye.
All
I'm
right.
taking more money from this chest.
A
Noted.
haiku by Saray.
Yeah, noted. So you're very adamant. You move about 20 feet with this chest as you drag it.
Woof.
And that's a strain.
How much until we're out of this room? Or to whatever.
You have at least 1,000 feet ahead of you.
God damn it. Does it look like there's any other traps or things we need to worry about?
Not that you've noticed.
Just the water.
The water has already been triggered. There is the spear trap that was blocking this entrance off. And you have a number of these thugs that are still following after. Far less than there were, but still.
Does it look like there's a way to stop the water?
Not at this point.
Fuck.
You would have to go back and try to.
Well, we're not doing that. So, nope, we're just gonna keep dragging that box and hope to whatever fate there be.
Okay, so you drag that box 20 feet. MacLeod, what would you like to do?
MacLeod loads his rifle and is gonna fire off at the other person that Hawk didn't manage to get.
Okay, go ahead and roll to strike, please. You see them slash across Hawk as he charges
Nat
forward.
20.
You got a natural 20, my friend. Congratulations. Roll it again and see if you get a second one. No.
It's a 14.
How much damage is that total? And I know it's a ray of sickness, so I'll go ahead and
It's a
roll
ray of
it.
sickness, so it's normally 2d8. Oh, I've never asked. How do we do damage criticals? Do we double just roll 2 dice and then double it, or do we roll twice the amount of dice?
So whatever dice are there, not your bonus, but your dice, you double.
There you go. So that's 11, 13, 24, and then 28.
Your gun blast rocks through the dark tunnel, and it blasts directly into the side of this individual, and they wheel back and fall into the water. There's a gurgling of bubbling, but they never rise back up out. You think that you've removed them from this plane of existence.
Whew. Shit. Come on, God boy, let's get a move on.
Doddle, what are you doing?
Dirty battle!
You're still make an athletics check for me. The water is quickly rising.
Oh god, I miss the length of leg I used to have. Athletics of natural 20.
What is happening?
I lived on an island.
Oh my god.
Roll it again and see if you get another natural 20 on swimming.
I was even gonna say you get advantage because
19.
Yeah, no, you're doing
Run
well.
away.
So you are like a champion moving through the water. You think that you've gotten better at swimming since you've been turned into a goblin.
Since I'm in a life or death situation.
Yeah, maybe that's some sort of genetic imperative for your new form, but you are booking it through the water extremely quickly as you swim forward. Yeah, you have no problem making your way very quickly up. You are by far in the lead of this group right now on getting away from the situation. How far do you want to go before you start to become a little more patient and waiting for the others?
They've been pretty adamant that they're fine and we should just be beelining for the exit.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
I am half their size and have one of them was in a war.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just gonna beeline for wherever it is we're supposed to get out of here.
Okay, fair enough. So you continue to swim.
Yeah.
Hawk, what are you doing?
I'm gonna make my way forward, and if I get in range of Doddle, I'll just pick her up and sling her over my shoulder.
No, nothing doing. You're not getting within range of Doddle.
Okay.
She is so far ahead of everyone right now. You see the little goblin form just booking through the water, swimming extremely quickly.
You know what? I love that for her. In that case, I'm just gonna make my way. If I can get in range of the chest, then I'll pick up the other end.
Okay, so to Saray's great joy, the other end of the chest is pulled out of the water, and the two of
Get
you are
outta
able
here.
to move at a more reasonable pace. Everybody's on the other side. MacLeod, as you're standing there at the end of the round, you watch as the tool snaps, and the spears immediately shoot back into place, blocking off not only your escape backwards, but your opponent's escape forwards.
Gosh.
And the rest of you slosh through the water as it quickly begins to rise above all of you. You are the last one, MacLeod.
Since they're there, Hawk's running past him. Mag's gonna slings his rifle over his shoulder and starts booking.
The water continues to rise, and all of you push forward. Busby is flashing and beeping the entire way. The treasure chest is slowing you down considerably. And soon enough, all of you are swimming, as you are unable to continue walking or running on firm ground at this point. You watch as you get closer and closer to the stepped area that will lead you out of these tunnels, but sure enough, the water begins swelling and nearly pulling you beneath it.
Do I perceive like where, if the water's emptying out somewhere, or if there's like a, you know what I mean? Like someplace where the water's, drain, or like where the trap is like refilling? Because I presume that
it's refilling on a number of different areas along the top of the wall, and at this point, most of it is behind you. As far as drains go, the water is draining out ahead of you, so there is some hope there. However, you do feel a pull that is drawing a lot of the water backwards. So back
toward
towards the way
the trap.
Yes. So I need everyone to make a single athletics check, please. Doddle got another natural 20. I think I'm going to make you permanently impossible.
How do I not?
I probably swam like a crap ton.
Yeah, go ahead and roll again, Doddle, and see if you get 2 natural 20s on swimming this time. It would be very good if you did. That's another natural 20.
Is Doddle gonna like save us all?
Maybe.
Right now?
Doddle, I need you to make a final roll, and if you get 3 natural 20s, it will be campaign altering. No.
Yes, 14.
Good times though. Good times. Okay, Doddle. So here's what happens.
Little puppy.
Saray, you are in luck, as Hawk has succeeded. You do not get pulled backwards. However, as you are being pulled, and though Hawk is able to swim forwards, both of you more or less go nowhere. As Hawk, with the treasure chest behind you as you're swimming forward, chained onto it is Saray, who has not let go, but seems to be floundering behind you. You are now effectively carrying both of you forward, and it has brought your progress to a grinding halt. You feel the swell of pain underneath your chest as the loss of air is immediately beginning to burn within you, as all of you now are holding your breath underwater, pulling yourself towards the area that you know is the exit to this tunnel system. Doddle, before you know it, not looking behind you, you emerge from the water ahead of you, and you gasp deep, heavy breaths of air, and nothing happens. No one comes. And as you tread water there in the moment, you see the rest of the sewer corridor around you. What do you do?
Oh my god! I don't have another tidal wave! That's
After your panic moment, you...
Oh, that was the dot
It was a question.
situation.
Yeah, it was a dot.
I'm just panicking. I don't know what to do. I get ready to help my friends when they come, because they're gonna be here. They're gonna be okay because they said they were gonna be okay.
Yeah, they may show up. You have rolled 2 natural 20s, so to assist you here and to make this success worthwhile, not only have you made it out without any problem whatsoever, I will give you an additional action, if there's something that you would like to try to do to aid the individuals that are not yet here.
Doddle's feeling really powerless in this moment.
You feel the water slowly pulling past you, drawing back into the area where you've just come, and you realize that there's a direction to the pull of this water, as it has clearly a power to it from where it's draining deeper into these caverns. Anything you watch is like a small bit of debris. A flower falls off of one of your the petals on your crown and hits the water, and then pulls itself down quickly away from you.
Oh no, I go to grab my flower.
You catch it and you grab it back out of the water.
I carefully put it back in. Can I look around? Is there like a rock or something around me?
There are rocks. You have all the items on you, your bag, and all your adventuring tools.
Lucy is rolling the dice. I would like to. Can I take my scarf, tie it around the rock, throw it into where I am merged, in the hopes that my friends can grab onto it and I can pull them out?
Yeah, so you drape your scarf, which is fairly long, and perhaps a few other bits of fabric and cloth that you have, and you drop it into the water, and it immediately pulls down, and you know that it will create a handhold for any who might be struggling to try to get through the pull of that last section of water. And that is your action. Hawk is gone.
Briefly go to the bathroom.
Under the water, Hawk, you are struggling forward, and you see behind you MacLeod drifting kind of behind everyone, pushing very hard forward. Busby has ridden along with Doddle, who is now far out of sight. Ahead of you, you see a draping piece of colorful fabric that is whipping in the water ahead of you. It looks like Doddle's scarf is hanging in front of you as you push, trying to fight your way past this water as it pulls you deeper and deeper below. What do you want to do? If you try to push forward with athletics, I can potentially have you grab onto this scarf. Saray does seem to be struggling, and MacLeod is still quite a ways behind.
Is MacLeod within reaching distance?
No, not of you. Perhaps of Saray.
I am going to...
I'll remind you that you're in armor, so this is very difficult regardless.
Yeah. Would this be at disadvantage, or just...
Not currently.
Okay. But the scarf is, like, within reaching distance.
Yes.
All right. What I'd like to do, ideally, is to tie the scarf around the handle of the chest and try and pull our way forward.
Right, I'm just going to have you make an athletics check then to make it to the scarf, and then once you do, we can have you attach it to the chest.
Shit. That's an 11.
You do not make it to the scarf, and you struggle forward as you continue to swim. You feel your lungs bursting with fiery gouts of pain as you realize that the air that you have within it is quickly becoming far too little to survive. You are moments away from being in a very bad situation. Back up at the top, Saray, are you trying to swim forward? You see Hawk like fumbling, trying to hit this scarf that seems to be draped down in front of you all.
I'm going to try and go for the scarf, still holding on to the chest, which I presume Hawk is still holding on to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and go for the scarf the same way he is, so that way if one of us has it, we have the other. If the other one has it, we have the other. If we both have it, awesome.
Make an athletics
Hopefully
check.
we both have it.
Right. You are not yet at a disadvantage, but go ahead and roll. You feel your lungs full of pain as you feel yourself.
Give me that fucking scarf!
It's 24, and you do manage to push forward, and you do grab onto the scarf as it's hanging in front of you. Doddle, from your end, you immediately feel that scarf go taut as someone has pulled onto it. However, now Hawk is a little further behind Saray, and MacLeod, you feel yourself pushing forward. As you're swimming, MacLeod, it is now your turn. You see that Hawk is struggling. Saray seems to have grabbed onto the scarf itself. What would you like to do?
Since Hawk and Saray are both holding on to the anchor point, or an anchor point of the chest, Mago's going to try and like push Hawk slightly forward. Hopefully give him like a better chance at grabbing. Because if he can do it, then Maglo can grab onto the Hawk immediately after.
He's clearly struggling, and you can see that his armor is starting to pull him down. Above board, all of Hawk's checks are going to, at this point, be with a disadvantage due to him being exhausted and pulled down. If you wish to do that, I will remove any of the negative effects of the armor for the moment. As you give him a boost forward, you like plant your feet onto his back and kind of push him up a little bit so that he can get to the scarf and then hopefully out as well, holding onto the chest as this daisy chain has been kind of stagnating underwater. You're just at the exit, but it doesn't seem like either of them have ever been able to really pull themselves out. Saray is holding on to the scarf, but that's precarious at best, especially with this much weight attached to it. So realizing the properties of all of this mass that has to get through this and the vacuum that's kind of slowly pulling people backwards, you are going to push forward, hoping to help Hawk. So just make an athletics check, and I will remove any disadvantage. That is a natural 1.
That's not a natural 1. 2 -1.
Oh my goodness.
31, which might as well be a natural 1. You don't have to re-roll it, but you do manage to plant your feet onto Hawk, and you do manage to kick him forward a little bit. It is not going to remove any of the disadvantages because Hawk is struggling very heavily. You, however, are pulled backwards, Maglo, as you feel yourself moving further away from the entrance, or the exit rather, as the water pulls you back, and you are probably a good 30 feet beyond the point where everybody else is at this juncture here. So that is the end of the round. Oh no, I'm sorry, Hawk. You don't know what has just happened. You feel the weight of your armor finally working its way across you. If you wish to swim out, you can make an athletics check at a disadvantage.
Because I'm do I have 1 level of exhaustion from this, or?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. I will tell you that. Boom. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep pulling. Hopefully, like, I don't even know if the others are holding behind me, but I really hope they are. I'm not even looking. Oh, right. We were so close to greatness. We were this
it's
close.
not horrible. It's not horrible.
I know, but that dirty 20.
A 14 is still pretty good.
Yeah.
I will tell you, though, that a 14 is just below the DC to get you out of here. And you do manage to swim forward. You now have a 2nd level of exhaustion.
Oh
no.
Man. Is there anything? Can I?
And you are not out, but you are parallel with Saray, but you are fighting tooth and nail to pull yourself out as you are slowly drowning.
Oh, and my speed is halved too.
Oof.
Oh no.
Oh. Saray, you are holding on to this scarf. We're back up at the very top. You see Hawk struggling, and you've not seen Maglo.
Can I spend a key point?
Do you have a key point left?
I do. I have a couple key points. So technically I have a Step of the Wind. I can spend a key point and take the disengage or dash action as a bonus action for my turn. That includes doubling my jump distance. I know we're underwater.
I'll allow you to double your movement, which will get you out. It will get you and the chest out, or you and Hawk out, but not both of those things.
Oh, I'm taking the chest.
Okay, do you want to think about it? You know?
No, I know I'm taking the chest. Like, I'm taking the chest. Like, because either way, if I take the chest, it makes it so Hawk just has to concentrate on getting his ass out. And if I get the chest out, then I can assist getting
Okay.
Hawk and Maglo or whoever's left.
You're very heroic. Yeah, you're
you're
such a hero.
In that chest.
All right, Hanzo,
Priorities. I don't know you people. I just met you.
I need you. Okay, so you're gonna do that. Make an athletics check, and this will be it for you. You are gonna double your.
Oh wait,
movement.
that's acrobatics. Sorry, wrong one.
Yeah, it's not. That's a good roll. Too bad that's not yours. Oh, 22 on athletics.
Oh my
God. Dottle, the scarf kind of goes limp as you then see Saray burst out of the water in front of you, along with the chest that she shoves up out of the water, and it slides against the dirty stone of the sewer in front of you. You grab onto her. It is now Dottle and Maglo. Maglo, you are suffering a level of exhaustion.
I'm looking for Hawk. Help him up.
The scarf is there. You can put the scarf back in the water, and it might help. But Saray was the one holding on to it.
I'm fishing for friends.
Yeah, you don't see Hawk. Then you drop the scarf down, and it goes back into the water. Is there anything else that you want to do?
I don't know if there's anything else I can do. This is my best, believe it or not.
Dottle, do you have rope?
I don't think I would.
Here, and I'll throw up my bag and dig in through my bag and hand Dottle rope and a pin.
Wait, wasn't I holding on to the chest, or did I let go of the chest?
You don't have the chest. The chest, like Saray and the chest darted out in front of you, and you don't know where they are, but they're not there anymore.
I use my key energy to like get my ass out of there and left you behind.
Okay. Yeah.
Throw it in.
Okay, so immediately a rope and a piece of metal.
As Dottle throws the rope in, I just go, wait, no, you have to put the pin in the wall. Go.
It's okay, you two can tie it to a rock or something else now, but that bit of metal actually helps as it is weighted the rope, and like a fishing line, it immediately goes down and past. Hawk, you see a rope appear before you. Maglo, what are you doing?
Oh, I want to get out. He's gonna swim as hard as he can to try and get out. He tried to help fucking God Boy and was like, I have a stupid fucking idea. Now I'm further back, and none of it fucking works.
You are further back. The water keeps pulling you backwards, and you have a level of exhaustion, which means that you are rolling with a disadvantage. So go ahead and make your athletics check, please. Oh, natural 20.
20.
Yeah, but it's a disadvantage, so we're going to ignore that one.
2.
No. Shit.
Love that for me.
Hawk,
Love
you
that for
are now 60 feet away from the entrance of the sewer entrance, pulled deeper and further back in the water. You have 2 levels of exhaustion, and you feel yourself slowly drowning. We're going to move further down here. It's the end of the round. Hawk, what would you like to do?
Do I see Maglo behind me?
You haven't seen Maglo in a while. You felt his boots against your back, and then that was it, as he pushed you forward just enough to keep you where you're at.
All right, I'm going to look forward the exit and look backward. And if I look backward, is it just too dark for me to see, or... I do have dark vision, but like
it's different than murky water.
Yeah,
it's like
that's
seeing
true.
through filth, and you can't do that. So you don't have like heat-seeking Maglo vision. I will say that while you do not have an eye on him, you could try to direct that rope, or you could try to pull yourself out. You are at 2 levels of exhaustion.
I know that Mike wants to pull myself out, but I don't think that's what Hawk would do.
All right, well, you've got to follow your characters. Yeah, well, that's true. At the same time, you do realize that there are people above who are going to need your assistance. So you can either use the rope, pull yourself out, or you can stay below, potentially taking another level of exhaustion and dropping that rope down to try to somehow get it to Maglo.
Hawk's left too many people behind. He grabs onto the rope and he's gonna keep it directing down to hopefully reach him.
make an acrobatics check to try to move the rope in the general direction of where you thought you felt or saw MacLeod last.
This
All
could
right.
be the start of something new.
Oh my god.
New characters.
Dexterity.
You are, yeah, and remember you're at a disadvantage.
2. Oh, that's a 2. that was so close to being even worse.
You are tangled up in the rope as you are not succeeding at this. I want you to make a Constitution saving throw. If you fail this Constitution saving throw, you go to 3 levels of exhaustion.
Oh, okay, that's an 18.
All right. You are not going to go to level 3 of exhaustion, which is very good because it halves your hit points. You are struggling underwater, Hawk, as you push yourself forward. We're at the end of the round. We're going to go back up to the top. So, Ray, what are you doing to assist your friends?
Okay, so I'm gonna take the rope that Doddle just threw in there, and I'm gonna grab the other end, and I'm going to tie it off to a rock or something,
You
so
do so.
that way it's not going anywhere.
You anchor it onto a very sturdy, large block of stone
Okay.
that is not going anywhere.
Cool. And then do what? Okay. Do I have something in my adventuring pack that would like make a light, or like something that like a flare or something that still works in the water? I don't know specifically what's in a Dungeoneer kit.
Do you have any ability to cast light on an object?
I don't know.
Do you have the spell light?
I know. I don't. I am not a magical person.
You've got a wizard in front of you.
Doddle, can you cast light?
No.
Well, shit.
I take, like, this is all I got, and I take out of my pouch, I have a small elvish lantern. That's not lit. That's all I got.
If it's lit with fire, you don't think it's gonna last, even if it's
No,
elvish
yeah,
and
because
May.
it's water. Okay, I'm fucking god dang it. All right, I'm going to.
Do you want to take a water break?
Nah, I'm gonna do
A stress break?
We're going in hard. Okay, so now that the rope is in, I feel a little more confident that I can maneuver myself up and in and out of the water. So I'm gonna get back in the water and I'm gonna hold onto the rope very tightly.
And reach for her syringe.
Make sure the rope stays where it is. And I'm gonna lower myself back into the water and hold onto the rope and keep like attached to the rope and try and find Hawk or someone.
You are fresh. You are not exhausted, and you may make an athletics check to lower yourself down back into the area where you saw your companions.
What did that do? I can't see it on my thing.
It's a 14.
Oh, okay.
You do manage to lower yourself down. You slip a little bit. Your hands start to, like the strength of the tidal pull of the water causes you to slip a little further and faster than you wanted, but you do not let go. You manage to lower yourself down, and you find Hawk tangled in the rope, kind of reaching desperately back, fighting as if he were trying to reach out for something that's not there.
I'm just gonna try and tap Hawk and tell him to get out of here, and because I'm assuming that he is trying to look for either me or MacLeod, because I haven't seen MacLeod yet, still in the water. So I'm gonna tap him and just kind of be like
You see this happening, Hawk. Do you wish to respond?
I look back, I look forward, and I nod. And
all right.
And I head up.
Technically, it's MacLeod's turn. So, MacLeod, what would you like to do? You are quite a ways back. You are underwater.
Gonna try and swim out. There's not much.
Yeah, you're in a tough situation.
Not much he can.
So I'd like for you to make your athletics check to swim out. You have a disadvantage due to your state.
15.
Your speed is halved due to your exhaustion.
That means you're not. That means that's good though. 15's a good.
15's strong.
15's a good. 15's a good.
Your second roll.
7.
Fuck.
Okay, so you don't really get pulled back further, but you are not going forward. You are working against the stream of water around you, and you are fighting futilely to try to pull yourself forward. And you feel your vision starting to go dark. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw to see if you fall into a 3rd level of exhaustion.
Constitution 14.
You do manage to stave off any further exhaustion as your willpower is driving you forward. Unless Hawk or Doddle, is there something else that you wish to do as you're standing outside of the water? You're unaware of the situation. You just know that everyone's below water.
Cry. I rolled to cry.
You succeed it's an auto succeed.
Okay. That's all I got, Knox.
All right. So let's go to Hawk. Hawk, this is your roll. You have some assistance here. All you have to do is pull yourself out. You are still exhausted. Your speed isn't going to matter if you can succeed at the athletics check to get out. Is there anything else that you wish to do?
There's a metal thing at the end of the rope, right?
The rope is going to remove your disadvantage. You will be rolling straight as long as you are relying on the rope to pull yourself out.
Right, but oh wait, the entire So the light cantrip allows it to be something I touch.
Mm-hmm.
As I pull myself up, can I cast light on the rope so that I can shimmer?
Given your situation, you can pull yourself up or cast light.
I cast light. I know it's
Why
it's
would
not
you
the
do
smart
that?
because Hawk's running up.
But you're at a disadvantage.
I know.
Right. So
you
the end of the rope, that pinion begins to glow brightly underwater. You can now make a Constitution saving throw to see if you take a 3rd level of exhaustion.
Oh, I hope MacLeod can see that. Yeah, that's a 7. Shit.
You take a 3rd level of exhaustion.
All right, my hit points are halved. That's I go from 34 to I have to do some math. Sorry.
You feel your body weakening and you begin to black out as the air has long ago left you. And you are barely able to move forward as you kind of drop this pinion into the darkness and it spins away from you in the dark vortex of this water. You do not see MacLeod. Saray, top of the round, you see what happens.
I'm gonna keep following the rope. I'm gonna swim, following the rope. Am I at the end of the rope, or am I already?
You're just at the beginning of the rope, right next to Hawk. But I will tell you right now that you see Hawk start to slump and fall limp in the water.
I'm gonna fucking grab. Okay, so I'm on the rope, and I'm going to use my weight to swing up and kick Hawk up into the fucking air and push him toward the damn hole so he can get the fuck out. Because I don't know why he didn't get the fuck out in the first place.
No, I'm not here to argue that. I'm here to help you mitigate the situation. What I will say,
Saray is so frustrated right now, and so is Fabian.
Given the pull of the water and the situation, especially since Hawk is wearing armor and is a big beefy boy, you are going to have a lot of problems just kicking him out. You would need to probably wrap your arm around him and pull both of you out.
I'm gonna spend a fucking key point for that then.
You're going to spend a key point to kick him out?
Yes. Can I do that?
Yes, I will allow you to draw this incredible strength from within you to kick.
It's called. Oh wait. Yeah, no. I'll just try and kick him.
Can I not resist that? I don't resist that if I can.
You don't have to resist it.
Out.
Yeah, you, given all of your negatives at this moment, I think that a fish could come up and probably TKO you right up.
Yeah, that's fair.
What do I need to do?
Yeah, you got to make an athletics check. I'm not going to give you a disadvantage.
Okay.
It's going to be a straight roll. And so this will determine whether or not you get him out of the water. And you're using a key point to be able to do this.
It's a 7. It's not great.
Okay, do you have an inspiration or anything you want to spend?
Can I use my bonus action to do an unarmed strike and do it again?
All right, but I'm gonna have
That was my action.
I'm gonna have you deal that damage to Hawk.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
think
guys.
at this
I'm
point-
being that asshole paladin.
At this point, I don't care if I give him damage. I'm worried about the
What is your unarmed strike damage?
D4 plus 3.
Go ahead and roll the damage. As you reposition yourself, you kick him forward and he's just too heavy. Even using
6.
all of your focused strength and your training, you kick forward and you take 6 points of damage, Hawk, as you feel Saray reposition herself and very forcibly kick you in the back. And you feel your armor buckle a little bit underneath you, and there's a crunch, and your eyes shoot open for a moment as a shot of pain works its way down your side.
I imagine I hit you right where that fucking arrow.
Yeah, you probably hit me right in the arrow.
And yeah, you're healed, I guess, but that blade is still fucking in there, and it
More
just
than
went
that,
deeper into your...
More than that, you broke a rib as you put your foot across his back, and there's a clear snapping noise inside of your chest, Hawk. Go ahead and make a final roll.
Get out of the fucking water, please.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm getting out.
Sweet goodness.
Do I make an athletics roll for that, or?
You are not. It is Saray 100% making an. I'll let you do athletics or acrobatics. Your choice. Okay.
Get the fuck out of the water.
22. And Doddle, there's a splash of water as Hawk flies out of the pool and lands next to the treasure chest with a thud. His armor is dented and sort of deformed by this encounter, but he is lying on the ground and begins gasping for air.
I imagine I'm also coughing up a little blood from that.
Blood and water is shooting out of your throat right now. Okay, and Saray, you're still in the water. That's the end of your round.
Okay.
You can't do anything else. Maglo.
Okay.
Yeah, Maglo. You are pretty deep down, and you are really exhausted.
The rope is lit up though, correct?
Yeah.
Can I see the rope?
As your consciousness starts to kind of fade away, you see this glowing spot of light that kind of comes through the darkness, and as all of it pulses around you, Maglo, it looks like the flicker of a candle, and you're all of a sudden sitting at a desk of old wood, and there are papers and ink pots all around you with quills that have been worn down to the nub, and you have all of these parts laid out before you, and there are little bits of brass and gears that are strewn out all around you. A pile of books as tall as you are stacked off to one side, and you are fumbling, trying to fit together two particular pinions that are engaging in a small movement of a wing that pulls itself back and forth as you spin it between your hands, and the flicker of that flame is right next to you. As you work, you have a sense of serenity and calm and peace as you realize that you can't quite remember where you were. You don't have any worries. You feel content and safe, and it's in that moment that Willow's hand touches your shoulder, and as your sister often did when you were struggling with a problem that you couldn't solve, she very effortlessly inserts herself in front of you, smiling very knowingly, and puts the right tool down in front of you. You pick it up and you turn a couple of bolts on this small automaton that you're building, and
its wings flutter faster. I love you. You listening? No matter what happens, you and I, right? That's the thing. You and I, we're family. The light of a strange stone on the automaton comes to life, and there is a warm amber glow. Busby, for the first time, speaks to you. MacLeod, the moment passes, the darkness is around you. The flicker of the candle is not a flicker of a candle at all, but a glowing metal pinion that is draped on a rope just 5 feet away from you.
Well, MacLeod, at the minute, is trying to galaxy brain his entire everything in his arsenal to see if he can. Okay. I'm not gonna make it if I swim. I'm just not gonna. That's out the window. I just can't do it.
5 feet. It's within your reach, maybe.
I also don't have the tools to make this any easier. I've basically used up all the components for everything. I don't have any equipment, there's nothing there. There's nothing I collected on the way, which is going to help me with this.
Everything's going dark, MacLeod.
Oh, fuck! MacLeod remembers. There is something in his bag, an elixir that him and Willow used to make, and they never figured out entirely what it was able to do, what the full capacities of it was. But whilst testing it, it once made Willow into this web-footed fish thing.
Right. So it has the ability to allow you
It has the ability to, yes, to alter your body so you can breathe and swim underwater.
We've talked about this and we know what the item is, and I'll allow you to use it. But what I want to be clear about is you are not swimming forward. You are going to use the elixir instead of trying to force yourself 5 feet forward. Those are the choices, because you can't do both. You're far too hampered, and you can swim forward, or you can experiment with this elixir, and we will see what happens. And so we've already discussed what those results would be if you do that. However, what I'm saying in this moment now, as it happens, is only one thing can be done, and the result of it will be permanent.
He can roll something that he has that he's not very good at with disadvantage to try and grab something, or he can try and do something that he doesn't know the effects of, but the effects will get him out 100%.
Your character is drowning right now.
Fuck it. He's going to trust the others that they're going to get him out, and he's going to try and grab the rope.
I need you to make an athletics check, as you have now foregone the use of the elixir. That's a nothing. 1.
Oh my god.
That is a crit fail.
Oh my god.
0.
No. MacLeod is losing consciousness as Busby's beeps get further and further away. Your body goes limp as everything starts to go dark. Your hand grabs onto the rope, and then it slips as MacLeod falls deeper into the water, pulled far away.
Does Dottle feel the rope go taut and then limp?
Yes.
I dive in.
Okay, Tuttle, you were holding your action. You jump in, and Saray, as you are there, you see a small form immediately dart through the water past you.
Do I see the potion that MacLeod was like? Is it in your hand or something? Please tell me if it was in your hand.
Well, first things first. Tuttle, if you're going deeper, I need you to make an athletics check.
Oh, this is the CEO of dumb shit I've done in D&D. Oh my god, I'm so fucking stressed out. That's 16.
Okay.
You swim deeper down. Now, it was easy to get this far because of the pull of the water. You see MacLeod's limp body, and in his hand there is a vial that is there with him. You have no idea what its intentions were or what it does, but you make your way to MacLeod and you see the end of the rope, but there is 0 chance that you will be able to swim, both you and MacLeod, up to that rope.
MacLeod's the smartest man in the world. I'm gonna get the potion that he was gonna take and I'm gonna feed it to him.
All right, you do so. And as you see his eyes open but not seeing you, kind of just floating there, you don't even know for a moment if he's alive. And you tip this potion back, trying to force him to quaff it. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
That is a 9.
You tip the potion back into MacLeod's.
I have inspiration!
So go ahead and use the inspiration that you have, the D8, to add to that.
22!
Well, it's not a reroll. So I do appreciate how excited you are about the 22. I just need you to roll a D8.
This is not excitement. This is pure terror.
Okay. Happy Halloween. Roll a D8 and add it to your dexterity saving throw of 9. So then we will add whatever you roll to that, and hopefully it will beat the DC that I have planned for you.
My whole body is itchy. Is that normal?
That is a DC of 12, which doesn't make
No. Oh, no.
The potion tips back into MacLeod's mouth, and MacLeod does quaff it. You, however, in doing so, are pulled back and begin drifting further away from the rope. You feel for the first time now, the bursting of your lungs as you realize that you're fighting very hard to just stay put in one area. MacLeod, we know what this potion does. How long does it take to take effect? Per the rules of the game.
So the rules of the game is an action. So
Right.
it's 6 seconds.
We will see what happens next round. Hawk, you are out and you are choking up water. You are now alone in the sewers. There is a treasure chest next to you, and the rope is taut right next to you. Is there anything that you wish to do?
I stagger up. I notice the rope is taut, and I'm going to do my best to start pulling with what little strength I have left.
Make an athletics check with all your disadvantages, but go ahead and make it. You are very good at that, so you might do all right.
Yeah, let's see. I know both of those. Shit.
You are fumbling with the rope, and you can barely stand. Your armor, in fact, feels like it's weighing you down.
I feel like I get up, I reach for it, and I just slump back down.
That's exactly what happens. Hawk. That's the end of your round. So we're going to go up to the very top. Saray, you see Doddle dart past you. You see dark figures off on the end. The rope, you see that glow, and from that glow, you kind of see these silhouettes. Something is happening down there, but you can't tell what.
I think the second I see Doddle scoot by, I'm like, well, fuck me, and I'm just gonna get out of there. Because it's like, I tried to help you, I'm trying to help them, you're just gonna fucking do it yourself. great. Okay, fine. I'll just take even more money from that box, and I'm gonna get out of there.
So after that whole rationale flashes through your mind in a brief moment, you have the rope ahead of you. You can make an acrobatics check with an advantage to pull yourself out. But if you're in the water any longer, you're going to start to take exhaustion.
Yeah, I'm getting the hell out of there.
I just realized Illyri and Saray are going to be the best friends.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Or they will axe murder each other.
You've got an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you gotta roll again.
Won't talk.
Wait, why did you roll 3 times?
I
Your
don't know
second
why
one
I
is the one
rolled
that
3
counts.
times.
It's fine.
Yeah.
The 17 is the winner.
Okay.
So you managed to pull yourself out, and you see Hawk lying like spread out on his face on the sewer floor in a puddle of water and blood, as he's got one limp hand, gauntleted hand, on the rope, trying to assist.
I think Saray just sees this and just kind of like she doesn't say anything. She just shakes her head like, oh my god, what did we get into? And she's gonna put her hands on the rope and wait to hopefully feel for it to get like tension on the rope, so that presuming that like
You're waiting.
has grabbed onto it and pulled them out.
As you do so, you realize that Hawk is fully unconscious.
That sucks. I can't
Probably for the
help
best.
you, bud.
Maglo, it starts to happen slowly as your body contorts and is racked with burning pain as if your veins are on fire. It feels as if your blood has been replaced with acid, and you are doubled over, screaming when you come back into consciousness. And in a moment, you look down at your hands in the darkness of this water, and you watch as the hue of your skin shifts slightly to an iridescent, twisting light blue color. And webbing begins to rise between each of your fingers, and you feel something burning on your neck as you throw your hands up as if you're being choked. But then gills appear off of the side all the way up and behind your ears as you realize you can breathe and you can swim. You are now able to swim underwater and breathe because of this elixir that was prepared. At the very last moment of consciousness, before you lost everything, you realize that the potion has been taken. You're unaware, as I've made a perception check, of anything else around you. So, in the darkness here, you're not sure how, you are able to swim and you are able to breathe. What do you do?
Does Maglo have no idea that Doddle gave him it?
No idea. You certainly are confused as to how you are here now.
Skip my turn. Maglo is processing. He just doesn't understand what has just happened.
Yeah, you're holding your action, which is fair. As you are awake and conscious and able to breathe now, the danger seems to be passing. Your exhaustion is slowly working its way back. You still have, you're slow, you're wounded. That's not going to completely remove itself, but you are, while you are slowed down, you are able to swim within this water very easily. Doddle, you are being pulled away, and Maglo's off in the distance, and you see his body contorting as whatever effect of this potion seems to have taken hold. What do you want to do?
What's your hit points at, Matt?
Full 52.
All right, I noticed that Maglo did not notice me.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's hard to say what Maglo is thinking. It looks like his body has just transformed through some painful experience, and he's not looking at you and doesn't seem to see you.
I'm Googling!
All right.
With my last bit of breath that I have, I'm going to whisper the Elvish word for thunder, which is Quenya, and cast Shocking Grasp so that Maglo can fucking notice I'm there!
You're casting Shocking Grasp in the water. I absolutely love you. This is amazing. So you throw forth your hand, as electrical energy shoots off of you and onto MacLeod very easily. Yeah, go for it. Go ahead and roll your damage.
I guess we both take the damage, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Big fan of the fact that you asked what my hit points are at.
17 to hit, 9 lightning damage.
This is a tense enough situation. I'm not going to amplify that damage, but it does just work its way through the water, and it definitely guaranteed that you were going to catch his attention. As MacLeod, you feel the racking pain of this electrical storm wash across you, and immediately your attention is pulled back, and you see the small form of Dottle floating away from you. You have a held action.
As soon as he gets the underwater equivalent of slapped in the face out of whatever he was in, now almost definitely understanding that Dottle either gave him the potion or is here to save him, books after her with his new underwater body.
To be fair, this was the equivalent of being kicked in the family jewels. The amount of energy that this little goblin just unleashed underwater was intense, and plus it was just, the conduit nature of the water that you're in just dragged it directly into you. So yeah, you're still a little fried, but you do immediately start swimming, and we're gonna cut away from you as above water, Hawk is unconscious, lying in a puddle outside of this pool where Saray is desperately hoping that someone pulls on this rope. Hawk, it's very dark, it's very cold, and you realize that you don't feel the pain in your back any longer. You don't feel anything except for the chill air around you. And then you hear the ravens as they call out, fighting each other, a large murder of them. As you raise your head up, you are in a desolate and gray field. Dead trees surround you on all sides. Their twisted branches create a silhouette like skeletal hands reaching up from the grave. And there is a large, empty, cold moon hanging in a starless sky. You feel nothing except the cold, and you see your breath plume around you as you stand, your armor no longer wet, your skin and your hair also dry. All around the cries of the ravens. What do you do?
I look around. I look into the sky. Am I dead?
You look at yourself. Your skin is withered, and on your back you feel them. The wings. Tattered. Describe yourself, Hawk.
Hawk is even paler than he usually is. His face is completely gaunt, and his eyes are emanating pools of just dark energy. From his back have sprouted 4 skeletal wings. I'm not ready. There's still things I have to do.
There's still things I have to do. There's still things I have to do. Your voice echoes out ahead of you. And as it moves, there is a shift as from behind one of the trees, a form emerges. It is you. But not you as you currently are. You as you once were. A young, handsome priest of Lathander. Completely gray, without an ounce of color anywhere upon you. The figure is washed out with deep, black eyes. Steadily, the form starts walking towards you. one boot against the ground in front of another, slowly walking towards you with a determined gait. Swiftly. What do you do?
I'm gonna pull out Raven's Wing.
Your hand grasps upon the hilt of the sword and you draw it, and all of the ravens around you shriek even louder as they take flight, and a cloud of dark wings surround you as you continue to rush towards yourself. In your hand, your old sword, drawn. Raised above your head now, this apparition swings at your face with your own blade. What do you do?
I'm gonna try and block it. I destroyed you.
You block the first strike, but your opponent immediately spins, and with a dagger from your back, you feel the stabbing pain as your doppelganger has now pressed up against you, face to face, sword against sword, the dagger through your armor and into the side, under your ribs, and into your flesh. You feel pain now, and the wetness of a deep, dark blood that even through this skeletal form leaches outward now.
You're an abomination.
You're nothing.
I'm gonna grab him by the throat and interrupt him. And then with my other hand, I pull the sword deeper within me and I pull him close.
They died because you were weak.
A voice in your mind all around you. It is the ground, the sky, it is you, it is everywhere. Speaks to you. It is not in words, it is understanding.
My child. Destroy him.
I throw him to the ground. And I'm gonna drop Raven's Wing and pull out my old sword from my stomach. And I hold it to his throat.
Gauntleted hands trying to push back the blade, but you are far too strong for him. And you push forward, and you feel your strength growing in this place every moment that you accept this action. What do you do, Hawk?
I want to destroy this thing so much.
You must free yourself.
I look at him.
I see every failure through you. Every ounce of pain I feel right now.
And I drop the sword. And I'm gonna carry that for the rest of my life.
Kara was right. It's your fault.
And your doppelganger swings upward with a dagger, aiming at your throat.
I don't stop him.
You feel pain as he shoves you down, and blood begins gushing out of your throat in gouts, and he drags it through. And you realize your head is leaving your body. And you can still see it all as you are freed from your armored form. And your gaunt, deathly head is held out across a deep, wide, dead field full of ravens. And standing there, in the middle of it all, is a small, gray form. Gowns gossamer floating around them. She slowly stands and then looks at you. A young female elf with dark hair and sad eyes. You don't know how you know, but as the life leaves your decapitated body, you realize that you're staring at Dottle, the real Dottle.
You will be free.
Saray, Hawk
Yeah?
bursts back to life, gurgling blood and water, and you realize that he might have been dead for a moment. Hawk, you are now conscious, and you are on the edge of this pool of water, choking. Saray, no one has come out of this pool of water in a very long time. The rope is utterly slack.
Woof.
You think you've lost them.
Saray's just gonna sit back.
Hawk is sputtering weakly next to you.
Who grabs Saray by the shoulder? Goblin.
She dove in there and hasn't come back out.
She can't die. She can't die. You need to get her. Am I still 3 levels of exhaustion?
Yes.
I'm gonna, if he tries to go into the water, I'm gonna snatch him and
he's
throw
like a
him
giant
against the
baby.
wall.
Yeah, you
I'm gonna
just kind of
grapple
push him.
him.
Yeah, you just kind of push him and he falls over.
You need to get her.
She's gone.
Get the goblin. She's important.
Hawk. She's dead.
I'm gonna
She's
grab
gone.
her by the collar and pull her close to me.
Bring it, sucker!
And say,
What do you want to do?
If
each of you can make.
I would know.
Yeah. You grab feebly at Saray, and you do kind of pull her forward. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna try and if he goes to grab me, I'm going to grab his wrist and use his weight and exhaustion against him to like put him in an arm lock.
Do you want to fight that, or do you want to accept it, Hawk?
I'll accept it. Fighting that is a futile.
Oh no!
So immediately, you twist Hawk over, you flip him over, and you have him held down.
She made her choice.
She's not dead. I would know.
Well, then she's out somewhere else. We need to get out of here no matter what. If we stay here long enough, more of those grasping eye will come after us.
Oh, are they good swimmers too?
Not all of them are in the water. Some of them are out there on the street. They'll be looking for us.
And how quickly do you think they'll take you down by yourself, or even with someone in my state? You need the wizard.
She's probably out or with them already.
Not out. There's only one way out.
You know what? Fine. And Saray lets go and grabs the trunk and starts walking off. Have fun.
You won't survive without her.
And to be fair, you do drag that trunk. You can
I'm
pick it up, but it's very slow.
I'll be slow. I'll be slow and stubborn.
You know what? Hawk, with the last bit of his effort, gets up, middle fingers her with his gauntlet fist, and whispers like in Undercommon, and he casts Hex on her. I place a curse on a creature that I can see within range. Until the spell ends, I deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage to the target whenever I hit with an attack. I also choose one ability when I cast the spell. The target has disadvantages on ability checks made with that chosen ability.
Okay.
And I'm going to choose athletics until I choose to drop it.
Okay, so and there's no saving throw against
there
it,
is
correct? It's not.
no saving throw.
Oh, Hex, I love warlocks. Okay, so Saray, you do feel that something magical has just occurred, and as you stand there, Hawk, your knee buckles and you kind of like fall back down to the ground. You're like on one knee, but you know that the Hex has kind of like found its root, and then from behind you, there is an enormous splash of water as MacLeod bursts out of the surface of the water, holding Dawdle over his shoulder.
Oh my god, is this like when Harry Potter came out of the lake with...
This is like when Victor Crumb came out of the water.
MacLeod, Dawdle is unconscious. You've got her in your arms. You do not know if she's all right or not.
Chucks like all of his shit out of his fucking soaking wet bag. There's like globs of powders that just can't be used anymore, and he's looking for his healer's kit, and he's gonna try and CPR.
To both Saray and Hawk, MacLeod clearly doesn't look the same.
I look back at MacLeod. Middle finger is still up, by the way. Look back at Saray and go, fucking told you. And I'm gonna drop Hex and fall to the ground.
3 days later, back at the Golden Owl, all of you have been recuperating and resting. Fiddle Scratch is not present, but you have been told that he is quickly making his way back so that he can retrieve the item that you have found. You have been protected, cared for, meals have been brought up to you, but for the most part, you've been restricted to this level of the tavern. No one has spent much time talking to anyone else. You've all been secluded in your rooms, recuperating, resting, quiet. Every once in a while, the boy with the broom, Christoph, would appear. The tray of food or a bowl of hot soup or broth. All questions of where is Fiddle Scratch have been met with, he will arrive soon. It is the 3rd day since you escaped. Inside of Doddle's wardrobe is the box. The red lacquered box that you were pressed to find. Saray, you have the chest that you have since managed to pick open with enough time.
Mm-hmm.
Inside of its large, sturdy iron and wood walls is a small fortune of magical components.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Every form of rare alchemical ingredient and a number of scrolls are within it.
Mm-hmm.
You have appraised their cost, and I've told you what that is. And you know that this would make you and your group very, very wealthy.
I'm not gonna tell anyone how much it's worth yet.
Party rogue, everybody.
Yeah, I'm the best rogue.
On the 3rd day, each of you can make your way amongst your rooms if you choose. They are not allowing you to come downstairs as they are concerned that you might be noticed. At least during operating hours of the tavern. They don't mind if you come down late at night, but during the day they've asked that you remain in your rooms. What do each of you wish to do?
We benefit from a long rest, right?
Absolutely. The 3 days. All of your wounds are more or less healed. There have been magical tinctures that have been brought to you, and you have been visited by a number of individuals from the Golden Owl, including Orwell Mertrot, who's the Turtle Barkeep, who seems to be very good with certain potions and has helped each of you to kind of recuperate from some of your wounds, wrapping you in bandages and taking care of each of you. Christoph has managed to work as a go-between if you had any messages or anything that you wanted to be handled. And you know that through all of this, there has been very few questions that have been directly asked of you, as it is assumed that you will handle all of the business of your mission when Fiddle Scratch arrives.
I think at one point, Hawk is going to slip a note under Doll's door that just asks her to come to his room and bring the box.
And I do.
All right. So, Ray, are you going to follow directions, or are you going to try to slip away and find a buyer for all of these items?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna, at some point, I'm going to slip out of the tavern. I think when they tell me, oh, it'll be the next day, I'll be like, okay, cool, I have the whole day then. And then I'm gonna go to one of my contacts and be like, hey, who's looking to sell some goods?
All right. So
goods.
You slip out a window fairly easily and make your way away from the tavern and through the streets of Waterdeep so that you can find a contact to try and negotiate a fair price for this small fortune's worth of magical tinctures and components. You haven't been able to do the full tally, but you are certain that this will be enough to truly make you all wealthy. MacLeod, what do you do?
MacLeod hasn't even been seen in the last 3 days. He came way too close and has done nothing but work. He was milliseconds away from dying, and that's unacceptable. He's been put into some form of hard drive with reading and maps, and he might have been seen once asking if he can go into the library. And if he was allowed in, he would have taken every single book that he could carry that had anything related to Teowin and walked upstairs and then shut his door.
All right. Doddle, you gather the box and you make your way to Hawk's room, which is only one door beyond yours. Saray's room, and then to Hawk's room. What do you do?
I knock.
I'll get up and answer it. Hawk isn't wearing any of his armor right now, so without the armor, you notice that he's actually very, very thin. And yeah, he opens the door. In his room, I don't know how many mirrors there are, but they're probably covered up with fabric.
Do you have self-confidence issues?
Yeah, it's the hair.
I like it.
Thanks. Yeah, it just whitened a little prematurely, you know how it is. Come on in.
Can you come in with the box?
Awesome. He's gonna look around to the hallway and close the door. And he shuffles around awkwardly and goes, listen, there's no other way to ask this than to ask it, but who are you, Doddle?
What do you mean?
I mean, who are you?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
I think you'd be really surprised about what I can believe. I'm pretty sure that a goblin that deals in elven money and can cast spells the way you do and acts the way you do, there's probably a lot more to it.
Really seems like you know already.
I know some. But I need to know whether or not it was a near-death hallucination or...
Nope. It wasn't. My name is Dudalia Duvasir Telquasar of the House of Sky and Light, from the island outside, heir to the throne of Teowin. Or I'm just a very mentally ill goblin. I'm still weighing my options.
Hawk just kind of puts his hands on his hips. Okay, all right. That's a lot of names. All right, Doddle for short. Here, will you excuse me, Doddle? And he walks over to his bed, takes a pillow, fluffs it up once or twice. Deep breath. Okay, so all right. You're a elvish princess, a goblin. Okay, I knew you were elvish. Okay.
You don't have to process that all right now. It might take a while.
Yeah, no, it's going to. Why would she want me to find you?
Huh?
I mean, I know why she probably wanted me to find you, but why does she want me? Why does she want you?
Why did I bring the box?
Doll, do you ever ask what was so important that Phineas wanted us to get this box for?
Yeah.
The box sits between the two of you. It is a deep red enamel, and it is pristine. Golden hinges and a latch with a lock that is inset into its wooden side. It seems extremely well made, and on the top of it is a golden eye.
Yeah, I question a lot why Mr. Fiddlescratch would have sent somebody that he clearly cared a lot for to a situation that was perhaps more dangerous than we first anticipated. You know why he was ready to let his friend die over a box no bigger than Harold?
Bet that what's in this box can change a lot of things. There's something about the balance of power, but I mean, I don't want this to hurt people. He kind of shakes and he stands up, and he's going to walk around a little bit. Well, do you know what a paladin is?
I have a rough idea.
There are people that live off of our promises. And I'm going to make 2 here in this room. First promise that if it's in my power, I'm not going to let innocent people be hurt by my actions. I don't care for the job that Mr. Phil Scratch took us on. I don't care for the fact that he knows so much. And I don't care for the fact that he's trying to inject himself into the business of a bunch of gangs. Whatever's in this box has to be important, and I don't want to just hand it over to somebody without knowing what's inside. Second promise is that no matter what, I will do whatever it is in my power to protect you. But I'm not going to open this unless you're okay with it.
I put my hand on the latch and I say, if you're going to protect me, I'll protect you too. Open the box!
You take a dagger out of your boot, Doddle, and you jam it into the lock, and you forcibly pry the box open as it snaps. And as it does, there's a wash of light that exudes around it like a burst, and the room is filled with a brightness. And for a moment, both you and Hawk are blinded. Make an Arcana check, please.
Both of us, or just Doddle?
Both of you.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
What? Oh, that's a 9.
17 is my other one.
Hawk, that was magical. Doddle, that was an alarm. A powerful ward, and something else that you don't recognize. In all the magic that you have learned, this was some geas that has been placed upon the box, so that any who open it shall be marked. And you know now that you and Hawk are marked by the magic of this ward that was placed upon this enamel box. You have broken the lock. When the brightness of that light resolves itself, you are able to see clearly. And you and Hawk both look down. And there, in a velvet-lined case, is a perfect sphere of what looks like crystal of the most clear, beautiful, translucent form. A perfect orb. Filled with a swirl of endless blue water that dances around as a single figure swims within its depths. A breathtakingly golden scaled and fiery yellow finned goldfish works its way in circles there in front of you. It has a long tail that drapes like a veil behind it, and it is peacefully swimming in the calm, crystal clear waters of this orb. There is no container or opening that would denote that there is any way to access the interior of this orb. And yet the fish seems quite alive and very content as it swims there in front of you. Somewhere else, though. Somewhere far, far from here. Away from the city of Waterdeep. And past a long, open sea. A figure stands on the deck of a ship. He is old for an elf. Very wise and powerful. Behind them, an entire fleet of powerful elven warships. The figure turns and walks back determinedly. He looks upon the vessels that have been gathered, judges their strength, and smiles. And that is where we're going to end.
Oh my god.
Well, there was a lot more there than there was last time.
All right.
Oh my god. Wait,
everything is a
Kristoff
lot
dead now?
I had to take some liberties there to get us to the point where that we needed to be at, but to get us a little further through, because I didn't want to interrupt the role play or the action of getting you out of that tunnel, because it was getting us to that really great MacLeod moment. And I'm sorry to the rest of you who I didn't have as much for as I would have liked. I know that you had to sit through a lot of backstory stuff there to get us to where we needed to be. Hopefully the little bits that I was able to give you were sufficient to kind of keep you interested for a little while.
We were probably like 20, maybe 15 episodes in during this whole section.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we just condensed it to like 6.
I've enjoyed splitting all this up, but I'm going to be so happy to not have to break all of you off into segments, because that has been really hard, and it's been hard to keep that pacing so that it's still, and also keep you all engaged, because it's unfair to ask somebody to sit through half a session and not. But luckily, luckily it's worked out. But I wouldn't want to do this permanently.
Yeah, it's been a great formatting for the episodes and everything. It's just the ADHD. Just like I'm glad we're going back to hanging out now.
And I think it'll be like ideal for the audience, but holy hell, I'm so looking forward to being in the same room with you fuckers.
Yeah, listening to the episodes, it's so good. It's so good.
Whichever one of you motherfuckers comes out on that first session and says, okay, I'm splitting away from the group and I'm going to go, I'm not going to let it. I'm going to be like, no, you physically can't walk away.
Tie us together.
Every single enemy that you encounter when you split off has inspiration.
No, you can't even, you can't walk more than 5 feet away from each other for 20 sessions.
Hey, I just want to say a quick shout. That Raven Queen vision was fucking
that was very cool.
These near-death experiences were art.
Also, I just want to say thank you guys again so much for doing these prequel episodes. I know that they were weird and tedious, but it's going to be so worth it in the long run.
They're going to be gorgeous.
It's a good call.
100%.
Yeah.
All right. I also hereby solemnly promise to never do a dumb as I did today.
All I gotta say is that I am utterly shocked that the dice cooperated with us so well.
I can't believe that we. Yeah, I can't believe we were like, listen, we're just gonna have
as good, if not better, than it was originally.
Matt, for my own reference, because I know that original dice roll was like a 1 out of 100. Was it actually 100?
No, it wasn't. It was 1 out of 6, and it was 6.
Oh, but still,
but it was still a 1 out of 6 chance that he was going to die horribly, and so we can say that, and we can kind of disseminate that, but just make sure that we also say that this was real dice rolls. We really did set it up, and we altered fate, but.
The fucking thing I was like, let's do the teamwork thing and jump for the rope, and then I got a 0.
Yeah,
I got a 0 on that roll.
I never jumped in the original.
Like we straight up took that high stakes thing, and in the replay decide, hey, you know, it would be great, more suspense.
I can't believe it went up in stakes.
Speaking of which, I really need a fucking nap. I love you all so much. Thank you so much.